Gaming news today is all about the unseen. First, a reliable insider has claimed on Twitter that a big game has hit the back end of PlayStation with a fall 2025 placeholder date, and I have conferred with my own reliable source that this is GTA 6. I mean, what else would be picking a fall 2025 date at this point if it wasn't GTA 6? Now, this lines up with another claim about the GTA 6 trailer 2 from somebody who said back in November we'd be getting a trailer today, which seems kind of odd that around the same time we would be getting the game added to the back end of PlayStation. So we're going to have that in the story today. We're going to be doing a lookout. We were not going to do a waiting room unless I got something more concrete. So this is just one of the many stories that we're talking about today. Second, the AC Shadows sales numbers are coming in, and surprise, surprise, the game is doing well, contrary to all of the very thoughtful analysis about those Steam charts and people with zero agenda whatsoever. We're going to look at how this game is landing and what it means for the future. And yes, you guessed it, the goalposts have quickly moved away from the game and how it was going to flop or fail to a brand new argument. That's kind of the habit now, right? When you catch the L, you just move the goalpost. Anyways, third, according to another reliable source, there are a lot more Xbox ports coming to PS5 this year. So in the wake of Indiana Jones' PS5 release date announcement yesterday, there's also been confirmation that Indiana Jones will be PS5 Pro enhanced, and there are apparently more games coming beyond the ones that have already been announced. Lastly, the first Berserker Khazan reviews are in. We'll take a look at the average scores very quickly. We kind of did that on the fly yesterday. I wanted to let them sit for a day and see where they land. If all goes well, I will be jumping into early access of the game today in a separate stream this afternoon. So if you're wanting to see first Berserker Khazan on a PS5 Pro, I do stream on AV1 at a high bitrate, so it's very crisp and very clean. Also, if you're curious what easy mode looks like, I will be playing the game on easy just to showcase, and also because I don't feel like having a hard time. I'm kind of overplaying games like that. If you're looking for a hard time, the game is, according to the reviews, pretty punishing. And as always, I do have a game for your wish list and your radar. And we have been really pushing this a lot lately. If you tune in every single day or you listen to these streams later and you like that I'm able to do this full time and supply you with such a large amount of content, consider supporting the channel directly with a membership. $6 a month gets you a longer talk show every day. You get into morning coffee as well as the green room, which is the end of the day segment. So for the cost of a cup of coffee every month, you can support me directly. It helps me do more shows and expand into more ideas and things that we'd like to do. So let's jump into this right away. So what is going on with GTA 6, right? It just keeps keep cropping up and yet nothing official. So in case you missed it, yesterday we established that back in November somebody claimed that today was the date for the GTA 6 trailer 2. Now, that person re-emerged to re-establish their claim that today was the day, which to me wasn't that interesting. It's like, well, maybe they set a reminder on their calendar and so they went back to the post and said, hey, yeah, it's coming, okay? But then a new development hit just yesterday, one that almost prompted me doing another GTA 6 trailer 2 waiting room, okay? Now, I said I wouldn't do one of those unless we had something concrete, and this just was not strong enough to warrant. But it does come close, so we are covering it. Detective Seeds, friend of the show and becoming a pretty reliable insider lately, took to Twitter yesterday and said the following: PlayStation back-end store now has a very large title on it with a fall 2025 placeholder, PS5 Pro enhanced. Now, his current batting average is quite good. He nailed the Indiana Jones and the Horizon dates coming to PS5. He also got the week of the Indy PS5 release date announcement correct. He's been calling his shots pretty well. So after he tweeted this, I reached out to a reliable source that I've got, and this person's been pretty right a lot recently. I asked them about this, and they did a whole lot of heavy winking and nudging that confirmed two things. This game added to the back end of PlayStation is indeed GTA 6, and it does have a release date for the fall of 2025. So like I said, this coming this close to a claim that like the GTA 6 trailer 2 is happening, we came very close to doing a GTA 6 trailer 2 waiting room, right? Because to me, the day before this, rumor about this trailer is about to drop, all of a sudden the game is hitting the back end of the PlayStation store, and it does have the fall release date. So what could be happening? Well, for one, if it lands today, well, we'll have our answer. I've got a thumbnail and everything ready to go. We'll do a reaction stream on the fly if it drops. If it doesn't happen, perhaps the person claiming that the trailer was coming today got inside information wires crossed, because maybe it getting added today was just sort of the beginning and they knew that there was going to be some type of an update. It also could be that it got added to the back end of PlayStation because they are getting ready to start rolling out stuff, and maybe the trailer date has just moved by a couple of days. There's just no real way to know. It seems strange to have the game added to the back end of a store essentially on the same date as the rumored trailer 2 drop. It could also mean that they're kind of getting ready, because I continue to think I've got sort of two minds about this. I'm a little bit in conflict internally. First, this feels really early, since all of the signs are pointing to the marketing spinning up in May, which is when their next earnings call. But then the other side of my brain says we're almost in April. We are 1 week away from April. This is the year that the game is supposed to be launching. It's time to say something. It's time to confirm the release window or the release date in a more official and public way than just an earnings call or a Q&A session. Dropping the GTA 6 trailer 2 any day now would allow for a lot of momentum leading into their earnings call in May, as well as whatever marketing push they plan that we've heard is going to include PlayStation. And we know that PlayStation likes to do their showcases and things at the end of May, right before Summer Game Fest season kicks off. We've heard from Jeff Grubb that PlayStation is considering doing a showcase this year, and they're leaning towards doing it. They think that that's the better approach, which I think it's probably time to do a showcase. It's been 2 years since they have done one, and the cadence of games this year and next year is picking up for them. Both Middle-Aged Gamer Guy and Detective Seed said prior to this week that GTA 6 marketing was coming early spring and would involve PlayStation. Well, maybe they want trailer 2 to land all by itself, so whatever they do with PlayStation is considered and very clearly seen as very separate. So for now, what we've done up to this point is we're just going to have to wait. There's just no way to know. And again, I will do that GTA 6 trailer 2 waiting room if I've got something more concrete than what we had today. This was concrete enough to cover, but not concrete enough to do a waiting room, because there's a lot of other things going on. And speaking of other games and other things going on, Assassin's Creed Shadows sales numbers are coming from sources as well as from Ubisoft themselves, and it's just so satisfying when facts and evidence are vindicating. And the AC Shadows sales info does just that. Now, just yesterday, I was saying that Steam concurrent charts do not tell the full story of a game, with maybe it has a stronger console presence historically. And VGC has received early sales data, which drives this point home very strongly. In an article titled, "Sources, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the series' second biggest launch ever," they say the following. According to data received or seen by VGC, Shadows delivered the second highest day one sales revenue in the franchise's history, behind only Valhalla. Okay, you've got to remember something, okay? Valhalla had a lot of advantages that they acknowledge. They say this here. Notably, it did so launch in March, when other entries arrived during the more lucrative Thanksgiving season, and did not benefit from the pandemic boost enjoyed by Valhalla. So think about what they're saying, okay? Typically, Assassin's Creed games get to launch during the lucrative Thanksgiving season, where people are spending more money. March is a little bit of a slowdown for spending, because we are in that quarter of the year where people are filing their taxes and they have not yet received or paid their taxes yet, or their tax returns, so it can hinder sales. And Shadows did all, in light of all of that, it still managed to be the second highest day one sales revenue for the franchise, okay? They also went on to say this. Shadows marked Ubisoft's best day ever day one launch on the PlayStation Digital Store. It was the most wishlisted Ubisoft title of all time, and it generated over 11 million hours watched on Twitch, the strongest start for any recent Ubisoft title, including Valhalla. But then, the next stat really drives home something that I kept saying to people. Quote, significantly, PC represented around 27% of total activations, which likely encompasses full sales and subscription downloads via Ubisoft Plus, with Steam playing a, quote, significant role in that performance. So what does this mean? Well, it means that 73% of sales were on console, okay? This is what I kept trying to tell people who were running to the Steam charts. I said, I think Assassin's Creed history on console is much stronger than PC. given what they said about the biggest launch ever on PSN, I would actually guess that PlayStation makes up the bulk of those purchases. You can actually see this in the review total. They have approximately 10,000 reviews already on PlayStation, and it's sitting at like a 94, which is absolutely dwarfing the review totals of both Steam and Xbox. So go woke, and the only thing broke are records. And you guessed it, the goalposts have now shifted to, well, this won't save Ubisoft. Folks are so desperate to be negative, now they're trying to hang the entirety of a 20,000 employee company on one game. In a stunning display of intellectual bankruptcy and a complete lack of argumentative integrity, we're now hearing that, well, none of this matters because it won't save Ubisoft. There are easier ways to admit that you're not really a gamer and you just enjoy grifting off of gaming and hating on anything that will drive click rate and your revenue, but this is another strikeout for that crowd, which I celebrate. They were wrong about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monhan Wilds, Split Fiction, and now Assassin's Creed Shadows is one more loss for their record. The quicker they're seen for the frauds that they are, the better. Let's move on to other gaming news, though. According to sources that are reliable about this sort of thing, there are more Xbox ports headed to PS5 this year. Tom Warren once again signaling that a lot of the Xbox games are coming to PS5. He famously said that April would be a big month for PlayStation owners, and he recently drove that point home again by pointing out that Indiana Jones and Forza have their April release dates, but he left 3 dots at the bottom of his post, seeming to indicate that there are more than this coming. These are just 2 of the beginning titles this year. And he said earlier in a report that, quote, 2025 will include a lot more titles appearing on both PS5 and Nintendo Switch 2. A lot more titles certainly will be more than the 2 that we already have dates for, so look for more in the coming days ahead is what I would expect. Now, we covered this yesterday very briefly during the live show, but I wanted to give this you in a very, very quick, bite-sized meal right here. First Berserker Khazan is available right now in early access if you order the Primo edition, but you can wait a couple of days and play it in 2 days on the actual release date. I will be diving into the First Berserker Khazan gameplay later today if you're interested in seeing PS5 Pro gameplay as well as easy mode gameplay, and it can be played right now, but it has a solid 80 on both Metacritic and OpenCritic, which I'm assuming is good for this team and this game. I didn't think it was going to be like a Game of the Year contender, and there are preferences that typically come into play. It seems that the weapon crafting and the depth of the game can get a bit bloated and messy in some people's minds. The combat and the boss fights are considered great, even though some people pointed to balance issues. We'll dive in later today and see for ourselves, as long as the GTA 6 trailer 2 doesn't drop and change all of our plans. So, solid score for the First Berserker. I mean, this week is absolutely stuffed, as well as last week with AC Shadows. We just came off the cusp of Monhan Wilds and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Split Fiction, and now we have First Berserker Khazan, as well as AI Limit this week. And speaking of games, I've got a game for your wish list and your radar, and this one is called Deep, Deep, Deep Nightmare. It's hitting Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam in about a month on April the 24th. This trailer just hit. It's sort of like Brotato meets Binding of Isaac, and they say that this is a 2D top-down shooter. You survive by facing monsters in this nightmare of a little boy who did not heed his mother's warnings that eating too much before bed can cause nightmares. It features a list here of surviving hordes of monsters and traps, multiple boss battles, collect souls to acquire weapons and spells in the shop, weapons and spells with unique effects, equip up to 4 weapons to defeat your enemies, and equip a magic spell to help your battles. So check out that one, Deep, Deep, Deep Nightmare, on April the 24th. Make sure and put that on your wish list and your radar. It's basically hitting all platforms, and that's the news. And now it's time for the discussion. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Make sure you are smashing that like button. We always get the easy first 100 likes out of the way. So now let's set our sights on the real starting goal of the stream, which is 200 likes. And then I will set a super chat goal. Every 5 super chats, I pay it forward and back. I will gift a member. And if you are watching this stream later, a great way to support what I do is to even smash like later. That helps. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That helps as well. But then consider supporting the channel directly with a paid membership if you can do that. If you cannot do that, the more often you're here, the more likely you can get one of those prize gifted members. If you pay for your own membership, just make sure you do Member Plus. It's $6 and gets you into all the content. And then we have been letting you guys know about coffee drinkers and soda drinkers. There's great ways to support there as well. I've got some people to thank who are already doing the member thing. And one of them, and it started the day off today, Han shot first, and so did you, Mr. Grady, 25 months at Member Plus, says, keep up the great work, brother. Hope you and the family are doing well. Well, thank you so much. One of the reasons we're doing well is so many people just generously supporting the stream so consistently. And Joker Quinn gifts the member, first gifted member of the day. He's so good about that. And then Jonesy hits 10 months and gets us to 120. We're a perfect 5 bomb away from me owing you guys the first 5 members of Tuesday, the 25th. If you're looking for GTA 6 Trailer 2, we're going to be on the lookout for it today. I think the likelihood of it showing up this week is actually pretty high, mainly because we had somebody say back in November that this exact date was the date that it would drop, and it just so happens that just yesterday, Detective Seed said that a very big game hit the back end of the PlayStation Store with a fall 2025 release date. So I reached out to a reliable source that I have, and I asked them about it. They did confirm that it was in fact GTA 6 through a lot of winking and like nudging, and that it does have a release date for fall. Oh, I owe you guys 5 from yesterday. That's exactly right. Let's just make it a 10 bomb. Somebody do it. Somebody hit off the 5 bomb. I'll drop the 10 bomb. Let's do it. Let's double whammy this thing together. 1 million people played Shadows in the first hour, but Ubisoft never said that didn't include Ubisoft's cloud service, whatever it's called. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the game is not holding their second highest first day revenue sales ever. I mean, that's what they're reporting. Now, people are saying they don't trust it, they don't believe it. Well, the sales reports will come out. Like, people need to know that a company like this would not trot out a bunch of statistical lies that can be disproven in just a week or two when the sales reports actually land, either from Circana or other sources. What's good, Jason West? How are you? I will get Expedition 33 on the 24th over that, no offense. I mean, that's totally fine, man. April is stuffed. May is stuffed. It's crazy. Lono, according to PlayStation's Twitter, there is a PS5 update rolling out today. It's called Phase 1 of the update. It might be a piece of the puzzle to what Seeds is saying. Yeah, they could be gearing up for wanting that landing page. I mean, if they're part of the marketing, we know and we have heard from pretty reliable sources, that they're part of the marketing. I could see them gearing up to have the actual PlayStation storefront showing GTA 6. They're going to want people wishlisting it. They're going to want people pre-ordering it. Expedition 33 all day. It looks really good. It looks like it's going to be one of the first turn-based games I ever roll credits on. I'm not a big turn-based guy, but man, that game looks incredible. More news for people with PSVR 2 and or the Quest 3. Wanderer the Fragments of Fate has been delayed by 1 week, likely to avoid Hitman VR. Looking phenomenal. Impressions are extremely positive. Well, thank you for that. Maybe we'll get GTA 6 startup screen. I don't think they'll give you a startup screen. My prediction would be that we get I do think if we don't get the GTA 6 trailer 2 this week, then I think they're either going to do the goofy thing that somebody predicted, right? Somebody predicted that it would be hitting on April 1st, like as a joke, right? That would be pretty hysterical to, drop the game on April the 1st. Just shadow drop it. Don't tell people it's coming. You just shadow drop it. That could obviously be, pretty funny. If we get past that week, okay, then I think they're just going to wait until May. So it's either like a surprise drop today and the PlayStation Store is being prepared, or maybe surprise drop sometime this week. Because it's interesting that guy all the way back in November is like, he's like, market March 25th. And then the day before March 25th, a completely different person says a giant game has been added to the back end of PlayStation. And then I confer with the source through text, and they're like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, it's GTA 6. It has a release date. So I'm like, okay. I was waiting for one more public form of corroboration, and we would have done a waiting room. I'd have done a waiting room, but nobody else corroborated the back end thing. Now, here's the deal. Detective Seeds has been incredibly accurate. So that's one of the reasons we're covering this. But even when somebody's really accurate, if I don't get any public corroboration from other sources, I'm like, okay, we got to hold off on doing this. We got to wait. Donald Johnson with the Member Plus bumps the line by 1. Let me know if that's an upgrade, Donald. If you upgraded to Member Plus, it's worth 2, so be sure to let me know in chat. Persona was pretty good because the anime and the music stuff annoyed me. Image of GTA 6 shadow drops. They don't give any advance, and you wake up and it's here. Mass hysteria. Everyone would race to play. That would be fun. I don't think in sort of the grand scheme of Rockstar marketing they would ever do that. I think the lead up is very valuable. It's valuable to shareholders. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee. Thank you so much, Kale, ordering 2 bags of light roast. Guys, thanks so much for supporting the channel by ordering coffee like that. I'm a turn-based guy. I wish Expedition had more innovation than combat. I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean innovation, more innovation than combat? You got to outline that for me a bit more. Seeds has been crazy accurate on stuff. I rejoined because I was on a gifted for a while. Well, I am going to, if you were on a gifted for a while and you just rejoined, I'm counting that as an upgrade. We're now at 122. Thank you so much, Donald, for doing that. Silk Song and Half-Life 3 rumors are happening at the same time. Clown makeup is going to run out at this rate, says Piscatella. I pre-ordered Death Stranding 2 yesterday, and I still can't find the energy to finish part 1. The game is insanely heavy. Yeah, I'm at like 32 or 33 hours, and it's 52% or something like that. If it's a release date relating to this back end thing, then I called it. I'm not. What do you mean? What did you call, Trill? Give me your prediction again. I'm here to tell you again. If we don't get anything on GTA 6 this week, you know, the storefront thing that we're hearing about, the release. I'm sorry, the GTA 6 trailer 2 thing that we're hearing about. Then I would say they're either gonna pull that April 1st, you know, surprise goofy thing, okay, or they'll just wait until May. They have their earnings call in May. We have it on very good authority that the marketing is kicking up in May, and that PlayStation's going to be involved. Now, the reason that I would think they would do the GTA 6 trailer 2 well before that is because they like kind of doing things on their own. So this is how I see them doing it. They would do the GTA 6 trailer 2 now or like April 1st or whatever, and then it just runs for a couple of weeks or a month, picks up all this steam. Then the earnings call re-cements like, hey, we released the trailer. It's got the release date in it. Pre-orders have now gone live. You know, we're seeing I feel like they'd want to enter that earnings call with both the release date and pre-order numbers to say, this is the strongest response we've ever had to a game, blah, blah, blah. You want to kind of flex that to the shareholders in April. In May. And then later in that month is the PlayStation event. I think they're going to be doing a showcase based on what we've heard. We know PlayStation really, really loves that final week in May. Like, if I was a betting man, I would bet I would bet that May 29th or May 28th, that's a Wednesday and a Thursday, maybe the 27th. The 27th through the 29th of May, that last week, right smack dab in the middle, that's going to be your PlayStation showcase. Because according to Grub, they're leaning towards doing a showcase this time around, right? So, in my mind, if what we've heard is true, that the marketing is being handled in conjunction with PlayStation, like they're doing something with PlayStation, then GTA 6 would have a pretty prominent part at that potential showcase. I looked up your name on YouTube and saw videos about you. That's great. The more people that make content about me, the better. I mean, that helps me. I mentioned the other day that the last time we caught wind of something popping up on the back end of the PlayStation Store, it was related to a game's release date. I was betting that it may be the same here. Right, like they would put it there. I'm not hating at all. Nope, nobody said anything about hate. I said that's great. I said the more people that make videos about me, the better. Nobody said anything about hate. Have you checked out Khazan, the first Berserker? I played Khazan back when there was a beta, and then I played the demo recently, and I have the game loaded up and ready to go. I'm going to do a stream of it today, as long as the GTA 6 trailer 2 doesn't drop today. If it drops today, then we're going to react to that, and that'll kind of take over the day. Like I said, I don't want to do a GTA 6 trailer 2 waiting room until we have something more concrete we were pretty close to doing one, right? We were pretty close to doing one because as soon as Detective Seed said what he said, I thought this is something that could be happening, because it's like, it just so happens that all the way back in November, somebody was like, yeah, GTA 6 trailer 2 is coming on March the 25th, right? I tell you what, that account's 5 minutes old, so if that's the first thing you're going to say when you come in, I mean, it's obvious what you're doing, so I guess good try. Khazan rocks pretty hard, actually. GTA trailer waiting room for the announcement of the trailer. Play the system. That's right. We're going to do a GTA 6 trailer 2 announcement waiting room. We're going to do a waiting room for the announcement itself. According to my sources, GTA 6 trailer 2 is coming. Well, we know that it's coming. That was, in fact, not a good try. Yeah. Like holding your cards backwards in a poker match. It's like, oh, wow, I wonder what you're doing. Melrose Mike with 50 months. That's a lot of months. And a VIP says, we will see. It's coming. It's coming. I knew it. Let's bump the line to 123. We're 2 members away from me owing you guys a 10 bomb. Thank you so much. Love Khazan scratches the Neo itch. It's not GTA, but it's Jimmy Shaker Day. Jimmy Shaker Day is always coming, brother. It always is coming, Jack. I think this is going to be a great year. Y'all will understand soon, but then, man, it's always Jimmy Shaker Day. In any case, GTA 6 trailer 2 day could be any day. I mean, but the current rundown is, I know this is what everybody's going to be tuning in today for. It's going to kind of take over the day, and that's fine. That's fine. Gaming news is pretty slow. You know, the haters and the grifters are losing pretty handedly, seeing AC Shadows do so well. A brand new exclusive just hit about this, so I'm going to save this for tomorrow. That'll hijack the topic today. There's some stuff coming out about the Switch 2 and Nintendo and a Direct this week, in addition to the Direct next week. So it's about to heat up. It's about to heat up, boys. It is about to heat up. So this is what happened. Back in November, and guys, while I'm giving you a bit of a breakdown here of the timeline, do me a favor and smash that like button, all right? Smash that like button. Let's get to 200 likes. You guys are crushing it already today. If you like this kind of content, I know a lot of the times you guys pile in here because you're hoping for GTA 6, but if you like this kind of content, like a daily talk show, I'm safe for work, people treat me like a podcast, they throw me on in the background of their day, you actually get a longer show when you have a Member Plus membership to this channel. You get like an extra hour, sometimes 2 hours at the end of every day. So your show gets extended, okay? You get the extended edition. So consider becoming a member or upgrading right now to Member Plus. Okay, so let me give you a bit of a recap. So back in November, somebody just randomly showed up on like a forum and said that GTA 6 Trailer 2 was going to be March 25th. They recently showed up again to re-emphasize that and to say that, yep, that's the one, that's the date that it's coming, okay? That's the date that it's coming. Okay, well, just yesterday, Detective Seeds is a very reliable insider all of a sudden. He's got sources at PlayStation. I believe he says he's got sources at 2 different first-party studios. He was told that a very big game was added to the back end of the PlayStation Store with the fall of 2025 release window or release date or whatever. Now listen, I don't know about you, but a very big game hitting the back end of the PlayStation Store with a fall release date, what other game could that be? Nobody's going to pick fall right now unless they're stupid, because they know that GTA 6 is targeting fall 2025. Cat Uncle with 18 months and a member plus, 18 months strong. Hope everyone's doing good. Thank you so much. We are now 1 member away from me owing you guys a 10 bomb. Thank you so much for the ongoing support. Okay. So I reached out to a reliable insider via text, and this is somebody I trust. This is somebody that's gotten a whole lot of things right. And this person did a lot of winking and nudging in confirming that the game on the back end was indeed GTA 6, and it has a fall release date, like an actual release date. He was not, Seeds was not talking about Starfield. No, he was not. So it stands to reason something's happening very soon, because You got somebody randomly back in November. I mean, of all the dates to pick, like March 25th, like what the frick? They didn't have any theory. They didn't have any fan fiction. They didn't have like a picture of the moon. They didn't have a picture of a license plate. They didn't have any of that. And they picked March 25th. And it just so happens the day before that, the game, according to sources, was added to the back end of PlayStation with a release date for the fall. It seems like sort of in conjunction with them doing their little Discord push last week. They're getting ready. They're gearing up. They're preparing. They're battening down the hatches. Chase Haddon with 29 months and a member plus. I got a fever. And the only cure is more GTA 6. There it is, 125. I'm going to be the first 10 bomb of the day because it's what I owe you. GTA 6 trailer. Today is, or this week, if they're going to do it today, I'm just going to be real with y'all. The window is closing. Why no waiting room? I wanted it to be corroborated. I wanted public corroboration that GTA 6 had been added to the back end. Detective Seed's tweet was generic. What I was told wasn't public. It was a private, like, wink wink nudge nudge from a source that I trust. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna run this as a waiting room if I get some public corroboration, and nobody has said anything. Right? Nobody. And believe you me, if somebody else had an insider telling them what Seeds has been told, or what I was told privately, they'd be out here writing articles. They'd be out here writing, a piece about it. And nobody is. So it's very possible, okay? It's very possible that people got their wires crossed. There's always the possibility that the game getting added to the store is what that guy heard back in November when he said, oh no, March 25th. Like, this is the week they're getting ready to do it, and he knew, oh no, the 25th, and on the 24th it gets added to the store, and maybe the trailer drops today or tomorrow. But the further we get into the day, the less likely that it is. I think historically speaking, you guys can fact check me on this. You can go look it up and see if I'm wrong or I'm right. I think historically speaking, GTA trailers, Rockstar trailers, drop early in the day, around like 9 or 10 Eastern. They don't drop late in the day. Old school gamer with a VIP and 5 months of memberships. If GTA 6 is the only game I could think of, if it's not GTA 6, the only other game could be Ghost of Yotei. And then Willie Kale with 32 months and a member plus. GTA 6, the teases of all teases. You guys did a bit of an Agent of Chaos together there, and you bumped the line to 127. Thank you so much. I don't think anybody right now would be adding their game to the PlayStation Store with the fall release date if it's not GTA. Do you get what I'm saying? The only game right now that would be throwing themselves into the back end of the store would be GTA 6. Because if it's not, like, who in their right mind would just right now be like, and I think is a good time? This is a really good time for us to release our game. Let's just go fall. Yeah, fall 2025. There's nothing going on then. Like, we just ran a report yesterday out of the GDC. There was an analyst expressing concern that if GTA 6 gets delayed, it's going to cause an issue for a lot of studios. Because there's a lot of studios right now who are potentially, verifiably actually, a lot of them have all but said this, that they are avoiding the fall because of GTA 6. And if you're avoiding the fall, well, and then all of a sudden the fall gets vacated by GTA 6, well then you're gonna try to land in that time. And then what do you do if you're like February or March, and then that's when it gets delayed to? Sony be the first to find out about the release date. Listen, wasn't there a guy from PlayStation who recently said something and like baked into what he said was the assumption that it was coming, almost like it had been communicated to them that it was still on pace? I still believe it's 2026 as it's too quiet on the news front. Listen, if it's getting delayed, then it needs to be announced very soon. because you can't tell shareholders twice now. Track with me on this. They're told that they're going to get a huge influx of revenue in this fiscal year. Then they're told by Strauss-Zelnick in November of last year, yep, fall of 2025. He says, we're very confident in that window. He reasserts that in their most recent earnings call in February. Yep, we are on target for 2025. We are confident in that date, in fall of 2025. So you have now given them 3 different assurances. I really don't think that I would imagine they would crunch the living daylights out of this thing just to get it out because of the assurances they've made to their shareholders. Now, if it does get delayed, I've said this before, the latest you could delay it would be March because they want it to land in this fiscal year because the shareholders have been given a whole lot of assurances. If that thing has been delayed, you can't wait until like the last minute. Now, to your point, Christopher, to your point, it's almost April. Why haven't they said anything yet? But then somebody's going to chime in and say, marketing for these games is typically only 4 to 6 months. Is short. So right now, 6 months from May is November. 5 months would be October. 4 months would be September. So 4 to 6 months kind of tracks. Like that's the window of time where this game could land. Swallow Pony Juice says, thank you for the gifted membership, but still Shadows is mid in my opinion. You're allowed to think it's mid. Not everybody's going to enjoy every single game. I don't think that's a reasonable expectation for anybody to have. You know, my mind may change once I get further in the game, but my initial outing with the game was I better put this down or I'm gonna not be able to finish Death Stranding. Like I had to force myself to not play it anymore because I knew what was going to happen. If trailer 2 doesn't come out in the next week, I will. No, don't say stuff like that. That's nasty. Don't. Come on. I've got to remove that from chat. Don't talk about doing something bad to yourself over that. I know you're being hyperbolic, but come on. Don't make fun. He's unqualified and drunk. What are you talking about? Check this person's private chat messages for the GTA 6 release date. Oh, stop it. I feel like it's going to drop at the weirdest time, like today at like 11:21 or something. It's already 11:21 somewhere. What about the return of Game Informer today? I did not include that in the show open, and I should have. I forgot to include that. Game Informer is doing something today. And somebody said Game Informer historically got exclusives with GTA in the past. They had a lot of the cover art. Here, I'll show you. Hang on. I've got the tweet here from. I forgot to include this in my show open. That's my bad. So GTA 6 Countdown made this observation. Game Informer, known as the first media outlet to preview GTA 5, featuring many exclusive GTA artworks and screenshots, is teasing a comeback on March 25th after shutting down last year. Now again, this was not enough for me to do a waiting room, but I feel like this is pretty significant. That you got a guy back in November saying, yep, March 25th, that's when the trailer drops. You got Game Informer coming back on March 25th. And then you got a reliable insider saying, oh, a really big game just got added to the back end of PlayStation with the fall release date. And everyone's like, well, what could that be? And then I'm kind of given a wink, wink, nudge, nudge from a source I trust in a text. And they're like, yeah, it's GTA. It's GTA 6. There was a time when those magazines were so cool. Yeah. Game Informer, I really hope whatever they have planned and whatever they do to come back is successful because I miss their reviews. Every time I've done a review roundup, I feel like there's a vacancy in my review roundup because I feel like their reviews are so good. If you guys are tuning in for GTA 6 Trailer 2, we're on the lookout for it. There's a lot of signs pointing to it landing today or maybe even this week. We're also keeping our eye on Game Informer to see what they have planned for today. Do me a quick favor. There's so many of you here. Smash the like button, and you don't need to hit subscribe if you're not interested in this content and you're not going to come back. That's totally fine. You can just do a drive-by. But if you like this kind of content and you want to come back on another day and you want to hang out in the live show and have these kinds of conversations, if you like listening to content like this, I do keep it safe for work, then that's a good time to hit subscribe. It's fake news. Rockstar just posted about Red Dead Redemption 2. No GTA 6 news today. I actually don't think that's a way to deduce whether or not they're going to talk about something. Just because they happen to tweet about one game or another game doesn't mean that they're not going to tweet about another game. They do tend to spread their things out, but that's not an indication that we're not getting anything from them today. Also, it could again be this week. It could be this week. They could decide that, hey, we added it to the store, we're good to go, the Discord's set up, and again, maybe Game Informer comes out with whatever it is they've got planned, and they're somehow attached to it. Red Dead Redemption 2 launch was October, so if GTA is not pushed, it might release at the same time. It was kind of disappointing that Sony did not acknowledge the Bloodborne anniversary yesterday. I don't think they can win, Alex. I don't think they can win. I think if they acknowledge it, everybody will feel teased, right? Everybody will feel like, yeah, you guys are just playing with our emotions. Like when they had the one trailer that said it's all about persistence, and it just happened to line up with the section of the video that was Bloodborne. And then everybody will say, oh, you're just playing with our emotions. I don't think they can win. They either say something or they don't say anything. And in either case, I think people are just annoyed. If they say something, everybody's like, why aren't you announcing the remake or the remaster or the 60 FPS update or the PC, blah, 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 And then if they say nothing, people are angry. I really don't think they can win, Did you talk about how the new Power World update made it crossplay? We talked about that a while ago. Yeah, we announced that in a wishlist and radar section of a video. God of War anniversary video was fire the other day. Yeah, according to Grub, they've got a side story game ready to go, and it's Greek, and apparently it's ready for this year. I don't know when we're going to see that, but we shall see. This is relevant right here. According to VGC, multiple publishers are ready to delay their games to avoid the GTA 6 onslaught. At least 2 live service developers have also said they will shift major updates. Market analysts are expecting GTA 6 to be by far the biggest release of 2025. Rockstar Games always suck a lot of money and, more importantly, time out of the market. We don't want to be anywhere near that. We are working up multiple different plans for our titles, said a publisher. So one of the world's biggest publishers said that we don't want to be anywhere near GTA 6. We are working up multiple different plans. Another senior exec added, even without GTA, it's immensely difficult to find free time for new games to shine. Time is the real scarcity for us, not money. It's tough out there. Interesting. Like I've said numerous times about trying to launch a live service game. You just can't get anybody to stay. We don't want to launch just before or just after the game. If it arrives late October, that means you either have to launch early, which a lot of people seem to be doing with the recent glut of summer release dates, or you go later, putting yourself up against Black Friday sales. Furthermore, TGB spoke to 2 developers of top 10 live services who suggested they will move significant updates out of the way of GTA 6's launch window. This is very interesting. Major publishers plan to delay games. Oh yeah, this is Chris Dring's new outfit, TGB, which is the game business. He just launched this, so it looks like he spoke to some people already about this. So Chris Dring definitely knows how to do a launch of a new outfit. He's got GTA 6 scoop here. One studio boss said, hang on, there's more here. GTA 6 is basically a huge meteor, and we will just stay clear of the blast zone. We will nudge our releases back and forward 3 weeks to avoid it. Of course, the problem is everyone is going to do the same. So the 3 or 4 weeks before or after GTA 6, you're going to get a load of games dropping content in what they believe will be the safe zone. So in believing it's the safe zone, they'll probably make it a somewhat unsafe zone. Man. Zelnick told the Financial Times, I never claim victory before it occurs. That said, I think GTA's developer Rockstar Games will once again deliver something absolutely phenomenal. Certainly the anticipation is high. The first Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer was released in December of 2023, confirming a planned 2025 release date. It racked up more than 100 million views in just 2 days, surpassing the lifetime views of GTA 5's debut trailer and making it one of the most viewed trailers in YouTube history. Well, there you go. That's a brand new report that just broke, that studios are now actively saying, they're doing the same thing we're doing. They got eyes on the horizon with respect to this game. They want to know, like, are you shipping or not? J. Jonah Jameson, first he breaks the law, and now he's stealing Pokemon cards. What's next? Oh, yeah, the guy that was dressed as Spider-Man, and he stole cards. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Or he stole Pokemon cards, I'm sorry. I'm just checking the feeds here to see if anything else is happening. No. We're again going to keep our eyes on Game Informer. We're going to keep our eyes on the social feeds. We're going to keep our eyes on YouTube. And it seems that publishers and studios are doing the exact same dadgum thing. Someone wanted to let Daily Memes know there's some idiot got control of his account. Oh, Daily Memes? Yeah, Daily GTA 6 News. GTA 6 hitting the PlayStation Store today. That is what we got. Yes, that is what we got. We have it on good authority. Well, it hit yesterday on the back end. I hope GTA 6 doesn't come out in 2026 because I swear I don't think I'm going to play this game. Lona, what do you think the best game ever made is? The best game ever made? I don't really know if I can pick the best game ever made. I mean, my all-time favorite game is like Hellblade 1, followed by Tsushima, Returnal, and Sekiro. Ori 1 and 2 are amazing. They're some of my favorite games ever. You go back old school, like The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past is one of my all-time favorite games as well, followed by GoldenEye, and then obviously, you know, it was pretty transformative playing the very first Call of Duty on PC along with Quake 2 and Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. There's so many games that were formative in what I like and what I don't like these days. It's hard to pick, like, the best game ever made. Like, that's a hard category. I don't even know if, generally, I don't even know if gamers even think in those ways, right? You have games that you really like and games that you really enjoy. You're not like, this is the best game ever made. What games do I think this year will be nominated for Game of the Year? I think Monhun Wilds, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Split Fiction just locked it up. I think those are your three easy. They might have to have more than 6 nominations this year because I think those 3 just locked it up. There's a lot of assumption and presumption that GTA 6 will obviously be up there and get a nom. Death Stranding 2. I think Death Stranding 2 wins Game of the Year this year, personally. I don't think GTA 6 just walks over the finish line like it's a breeze, like it's nothing. I actually think Death Stranding 2 is the current frontrunner based on everything we've seen, and based on what we know, the voting jury and what the press thinks of Kojima. Yeah, I think there will very likely then also be a Nintendo game up there. A first-party Nintendo launch title for the Switch 2 will likely be up there. There's your 6. Now, the sleeper hits that could sneak up there are Hell Is Us and Expedition 33. I think those are sleeper hits. I think that those ones could kind of come out of nowhere and really surprise people. Expedition 33 especially is of a very high quality from what we've seen. So yeah, I mean, listen to me, listen now, track with me on this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wins. This year is insane. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. It's like watching like a battle royale or a Royal Rumble in a wrestling ring, where like everybody that comes in is an amazing champion. It's like, well, somebody's going to win. Doom: The Dark Ages will likely get a bunch of nominations and maybe a Game of the Year nomination. I mean, it's literally just going to be a battle of titans. It's going to be it's like going to be like a kaiju fight of every single big monster you could dream up is fighting for the championship belt, and we win. I mean, yeah, Ghost of Yote could get up there, given Tsushima's aged like a fine wine and done quite well. You know, the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. This is why I've told people that a GTA 6 Game of the Year is not guaranteed. People think that GTA 6 is like the guaranteed winner, and I'm like, are you looking at the games coming out? This year is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. It's going to be an incredibly close race, and I again think that Death Stranding 2 is the front runner. I just do. It's just got that. There's something about Kojima, and there's something about that game. I think the press will absolutely fall head over heels for it, and make it hard on literally everybody else to even stand a chance. We don't know if GTA 6 is going to be good. I think GTA 6 is going to receive really, really great reviews, really, really high marks. I think it's going to do incredibly well commercially. But I also think... Detective Seeds, are you in here? He just tweeted, imagine trying to win Game of the Year in 2025. The lineup is insane. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who wins. We win. Like, gamers win 2025. And I'm talking about gamers, not the grifters and the people who said gaming is cooked, gaming sucks, gaming's dying, gaming is go woke, go broke. That whole narrative is dead and on the floor, like shriveled up Voldemort, like just pathetic. The gaming industry and the quality of games that we're getting and the commercial success of these games. Listen, man, the Switch 2's not even out yet. That's next week. We'll get that Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Guys, could we get a bunch of likes right now? We did not get a scramble on the like count. We need to be at 300 likes pronto. Take a quick second and make sure YouTube saved your thumbs up. There's so many of you here. Give the video some love. A battle of titans for Game of the Year prediction makes sense to me, but only assuming all those games have good releases, and I think that's an unrealistic expectation. What do you mean, Derek? There's only usually typically 6 nominations, and 3 of them are already at a high caliber. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, now Monhan Wilds has performance issues, but it's still incredibly loved and incredibly commercially successful. Great scores, except for PC because of optimization issues, but great scores. Right? Split Fiction, that's from the team that won Game of the Year a while back. That game's at high quality. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows is not a Game of the Year contender, but it launched at a very high quality. It's been technically praised by any outlet that's gotten his hands on it. Right? I have a really hard time believing that, like, Death Stranding 2 doesn't launch at incredible quality. And what were some of the other ones we said? Like Doom the Dark Ages. And how long we waited for GTA 6. And yeah, Mafia the Old Country. Like... There's no way, especially the studios that like Ghosts of Yote, the studios that these games are coming from, Kojima Productions, Sucker Punch, Rockstar, these are studios that bring excellence. I'm not concerned at all. I'm just used to seeing big releases come out with huge problems. It's normal. I'm being pessimistic. I think that tide's turning. I really do. I think the tide's turning on that. How was Split Fiction? I loved it. I rolled credits with my wife. I'm currently playing through it with my son as well as Hilly. We decided against doing a second playthrough for you guys with Madam. I was like, I don't want to roll credits on this game 4 times in close succession. I think that would be a bit much. So, yeah. And we're keeping our eyes on the feeds, guys. You know, I know everybody's looking for GTA 6 Trailer 2. And Game Informer's doing something today as well, which could be related. And there's a lot of stars lining up with today. A big game got added to the back end of PlayStation last night. I have been basically told privately that it was GTA 6. We had a guy predicting that GTA 6 Trailer 2 would land today all the way back in November. And then mysteriously, for whatever reason, Game Informer is coming back today as well. You don't think Doom gets a nom? I think Doom will get a plenty of nominations. It may not get the Game of the Year nomination. I think it's Xbox's best shot at a nomination this year, though. It certainly has a better shot than Indiana Jones. I think if you stack up Indiana Jones against some of the other big name titles, I just don't think it'll get enough votes. I think these other titles have just really sealed those top spots. I wouldn't be surprised if they do more than 6 nominations this year. I think Keeley's going to have to go to 8. You're going to have to bump the nomination total for Game of the Year to 8. I don't think 6 is going to be enough. It's just going to be too close. Could Hades 2 be in the convo? Early access games can get nominated, yes. Any news on Assassin's Creed Hexe told coming 2025 last year? I've not seen any movement on that game coming this year. I've not seen any of that claim. Can we get 24 more likes? You guys did a nice solid scramble there. We're so close to 300 likes. Roll that over. Hit the $ at the bottom of the chat, too. See if you have a renewal to celebrate. You can help us with our member goal that we try to hit every single week. If you're paying for Member Plus or VIP, it counts towards the goal. You could also upgrade, and that helps out. You meant full release, assuming it does drop this year. Oh, you're saying, will we get a full release of Hades 2? They've been pretty consistent with their updates. I don't know what their timeline or roadmap is, though. Have they indicated anything about a target date or a target window for 1.0. I don't know if they have. The developers over there do good work, so I mean, I trust them to do it when it's appropriate and the right time. Hear me out. The GTA 6 trailer 2 is 100% happening at some point. And then Rose Girl hits 2 months of memberships. That's a great reason to check and see if you've got a celebration. Thank you so much for doing VIP and bumping the member count to 128. They just dropped a big update for Hades 2. I don't think so. I'm coping. I haven't played Hades 2, but people were saying last year that it felt way closer to being done than when Hades 1 was in early access, says Patrick Q. Hades 2 needs at least 2 more major updates before release, says Jesse. Usually the release comes 3 months apart or more. The releases, sorry. It could sneak in before end of the year. Right, if they do 2 more, I mean, that would be what, that June and then September, and then they could maybe try and do a holiday release. Outer Worlds 2 could get a nom, says Lone Wolf. It got a nom last time. I'm not saying it will, but I think it'll be fighting for a spot. Outer Worlds will definitely get nominations in some of the categories, like RPG, especially. But man, I don't know, dude. I just don't know. The Game of the Year category this year in particular is going to be, I think it's going to be probably one of the hardest ever. And I don't know if you guys saw this, GTA 6 map recreation in GTA 5 got taken down by Take-Two. Now, this is interesting that they just did this. It also seems like interesting timing. Like a modder and superfan that goes by the handle Dark Space caught the attention of fans recently by releasing a playable recreation of the Grand Theft Auto 6 map in Grand Theft Auto 5. He announced he was ceased all work on the project and was been struck by a takedown by Rockstar and Take-Two. So the video got hit with a copyright strike. He got hit with it. Now, I think that's a little bit much. You hurt somebody's income and channel. They should have done a request first. Why did they remove my video and take away my month's income that I spent 2 months hard to earn? Well, my guess is that the map was a little too accurate, he said. They must feel some sort of threat from it existing because they feel that having a playable version of the map to drive around in could ruin the surprise and the newness of GTA 6 when it releases. They didn't have to do a strike. They could have just done a request. You can just request that he takes it down. There's no reason to hurt his income because he rebuilt the map in the thing. It wasn't like he took, a signed NDA or copyrighted material and published it. Does hype influence the awards? Astrobot had no hype. Baldur's Gate 3 had virtually no hype. I think hype can hurt you. Yes, I think hype can totally hurt you to the degree that, so think about it like this. The people that are reviewing the games and voting in the jury process, they're human beings, okay? Human beings that have their expectations influenced by a variety of things. So there could totally be a bunch of outlets and people who end up playing GTA 6 and they land a little bit more tepid and a little bit more lukewarm to the title because their hype or their expectations were too high. They've been waiting for too long, right? I mean, there can be a lot that plays into that. And that's not fair. I'm not saying that this is like a fair assessment of a game's quality or a fair way to judge games. I'm saying you're dealing with humans. We're dealing with the human element within review process is going to create a lot of potential subjectivity and a lot of, potential, I'm going to give it a 7.5. All you need is a handful of 7.5s, and 8s, and it can pull your score down rather quickly. Like if you're trying to hold on to like a 90 to a 94, holding on to that score can be very difficult if all you need is like 5 or 10 outlets that were a little bit more tepid and they give you, some 7s and 8s, and that pulls that average down very quickly. It's extremely difficult to hold on to a strong score. It really is. That's why whenever you go to like Steam and a game's in like the 94, 95 range, that game is very, very good because that's not at all easy to hold on to. GTA 6 trailer today, can't wait. I think once we get past about like noon, 1 o'clock, I think the likelihood goes down. I don't think they like to do things late in the day. I don't. That's why I didn't do a waiting room. I was like, I need some public corroboration. And even still, the game getting added to the PlayStation Store on the back end, even still, that wasn't strong enough for me to do a waiting room. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. You know, I need more than that. Any kid who's gotten some bad quiz scores knows it's tough to pull up your average to a B-. That's right. Yeah, Insider Gaming is now running the same story that we looked at a little bit ago from VGC. This comes from Chris Dring's new The Game Business outfit, that there are 3 major publishers ready to delay their games just to avoid GTA 6. So now Insider Gaming is running it. According to Christopher Dring, the recently launched outlet, The Game Business, 3 major video game publishers are ready to delay their games to avoid GTA 6. So yeah, we read that a little bit ago. VGC had the report as well. I would definitely throw your support behind Christopher Dring and The Game Business. I would also throw your support behind Insider Gaming. I think these are 2 outfits that can really start to model reliable and accurate reporting as opposed to all the other nonsense that's out there. Don't forget Lost Soul Aside in May might be Game of the Year potential. No, from what I've seen, I don't think Lost Soul Aside is a Game of the Year contender. I don't. I think there are some pretty big games out there that are going to make that almost impossible for some of these titles to make it. Here's a new Lego set featuring Sean Astin. I thought it was Sean Austin. It's got me in the mood to whip out Lord of the Rings Lego game. There you go. Oh no, it is. Is it pronounced Austin or is it pronounced Aston? I always thought his name was Austin. Sean Austin. Tom Henderson attacked Hip Hop Gaming, so I can't support him like that. I mean, listen, I've never interacted with, I think, isn't it Hip Hop Gamer? In any case, I've never interacted with him. He seems like a super nice guy, super positive, and he's obviously got a lot of connections. He's gotten to do some pretty cool interviews. I think he has sources, and I think he has good information. I also think there are times where he's sort of making a very, very well-informed guess. And when he gets those guesses right, he wants to say, called it. The question for me would be, how many times are those guesses coming up wrong, right? Sometimes I get that vibe from him, like he's just kind of throwing things at the wall, which is totally fine and fair. Like if that's what you want to do, if you want to make guesses. But I do sometimes feel like Tom Henderson, I'm not defending what Tom did, I'm just saying Tom Henderson has like a legitimate process of vetting sources, vetting information before he publishes something, whether it was Project Q, whether it was the PS5 Pro, right? He has like a process of legitimizing, sources, information, and scooping things. And I think he probably doesn't appreciate it sort of being turned into kind of, I don't know what to call it. I think there's a less seriousness there, which again is fine. Like if your brand is a little bit less serious and you're just sort of throwing things out there and making your predictions. I like both Hip Hop Gamer and Tom Henderson. I like them both. I could just understand maybe why someone like Tom gets annoyed with the different approach that Hip Hop Gamer has. Does that make sense? I don't have an issue with either of those gentlemen. Tom's always been very kind to me, and Hip Hop Gamer seems like he's a pretty positive guy. He puts out positive content. I get you, but he should have been more professional with the exchange. Sure, and everybody, especially when you're dealing with someone who's a little bit maybe more rough and a little gonna be more quick to give guff because he is a Brit. I mean, I didn't think it was like over the line. It was just like a shot about like something about his predictions are fake or something. I'm good on insiders in general. They're all guessing, but I don't understand that as gaming news show. You have to keep an eye on what they say. Well, here's the thing, Broken Lobo. There's a difference between guessing as an insider and what Tom Henderson does. Tom Henderson does not guess. He doesn't. He vets the information. He vets the sources. He protects his sources when they want to be protected. He verifies that he's been given actual solid information, right? So I don't think that he would consider what he does to be guessing. Like if you sat down Tommy Hendy and you asked him about his process, he would not say, oh yeah, sometimes we just guess. That's why I think supporting Insider Gaming is important, because I think they actually have a more rigid process of how to report things. They'll even adjust headlines if they feel like they're misleading. I think Tom takes that very seriously. I was critical of one of their headlines once, and he changed it. Recently, they had a headline that felt a little bit sort of off kilter, and they changed it and updated it when new information was brought to light. So, like, I think supporting them is you're supporting a vision for how to report things and how to handle things. And for me, I think that's worth supporting. Whether or not I support him like getting in a spat with somebody, I don't give a frick about that. I'm not going to be the referee of frickin' Twitter, if that makes sense. Game Informer's announcement relating to its revival today was almost certainly be pertaining to GTA 6 in some aspect. They might even have an exclusive trailer release. There are people theorizing that, Derek, that like Game Informer is mysteriously coming back today, and I'm thinking it would be in the next 40 minutes. Game Informer, not GTA 6. I think Game Informer will do their thing at noon. Don't know how much you are still into Survivor games. A new one just launched on PS8 called Eden Shores. Having fun so far. I don't really play survival games. I like playing them for a little bit with Hilly, but I tend to get... I tend to kind of tap out rather quickly. Journalistic integrity is at a premium. As long as he corrects himself, it's a good start. Hip Hop Gamer is an insider as well, more grassroots. His affability keeps him in exclusive circles. Like I said, I like them both, and I like them both for how they approach things. If I was a betting man and they each made a prediction or each claimed to know something, I'd put more money on Tom's side. Again, I think sometimes Hip Hop Gamer is just guessing, which is totally fine. I'm not criticizing him from that. I'm saying from a mathematical perspective of who I think is more reliable and more likely to be correct, I would say I would go with Tom, given some of the history and just given how some of the things have landed. And so, yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. You say survival? He said Survivor, but what they meant was survival. They meant survival games. They didn't like Survivor is. Oh wait, no. You mean like Vampire Survivors? Sorry. Okay, it's called Eden. Now you have my attention. Hang on. Now you have my attention. Eden Survivors, single player. It's got an 83% on Steam. Wait. It just launched on PS5 today. So this has been on Steam since oh, you're like a mech. So you're like a mech, like zipping around. Okay. Very, very cool. I finally saw a tall neck in Death Stranding. This kind of reminds me of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor a little bit, although it is seemingly boxing you in a little bit more. Deep Rock Galactic seemed to give you a little bit more freedom and volition to move around. I would love it if Deep Rock would add co-op and come to console. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I know Deep Rock Galactic has co-op. And thank you guys for 300 likes and a huge turnout. If you're looking for GTA 6 Trailer 2, we're on the lookout for it as well. We really are on the lookout for it. We're looking at Game Informer as well. I think in the next 40 minutes or so, Game Informer will probably have their announcement. They could have some kind of a scoop or some kind of an exclusive. So we will see if that ends up coming to fruition today, and if it is connected in any way to Game Informer coming back. I hope they're just coming back with good backing and good reviews again. I miss them in this space. Did you say Survivor was coming to consoles? No, I want Deep Rock Galactic Survivor to add co-op and come to consoles. It seems perfect for co-op, but it could just be too many. It could be just too many things on the screen, too many things that have, the potential to slow down frames and performance or something like that. Eden Survivors is the same price as Vampire Survivors at $5. Well, there you go. Who's running Game Informer now? We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. Like, as far as Game Informer and what they're doing today, I have no idea what it is. We have no idea, hang on. Okay. Sorry, I was thinking we may have something we don't. We have no idea what's going on with Game Informer today. The main headline right now is all these people are now running with Chris Dring's report about GTA 6. 3 major publishers are ready to delay games to avoid GTA 6. So, yeah. Pour one out for Game Informer. They were one of the good ones. They're doing something today. They're coming back. I think it's probably going to be in the next 30 minutes or so. If you guys haven't done so already, there's been so many people hanging out today. Take a quick second and smash the like button. We should scramble to 400 likes really, really quickly. You can hit the $ sign at the bottom of the chat. See if you have a celebration. Consider upgrading your membership. We are running into an issue, though. When you get a gifted member, it won't let you upgrade. That's a great reason to just buy your own membership when you can, because you can get locked into the gifting, and it can make it really, really tough to get off of the gifting. We'll keep an eye on Rockstar's YouTube channel as well. Yeah, I'm assuming they would tweet, so it's going to light the world on fire. I don't think we would be more than maybe 30 seconds behind when it hits. It'll be pretty immediate chaos. I lightly tap the like button so that I don't break it. There you go. Thanks for reminding me. Chris F. renews their member plus and gets us to 129. One away from that nice setup. 130 is always pretty tantalizing for the big boys. Lono, do you think Rockstar will handle the GTA 6 trailer 2 release different than how the first trailer released? Oh, 100% yes. Drummond, yes. I do not think they will announce it. I do not think they will premiere it. So the reason that it leaked last time, they premiered it on YouTube. And what that means is it was uploaded to YouTube and sitting there for a really long time, scheduled to go live. What that means is anybody with access to the back end of YouTube can see and subsequently steal said trailer, which is what happened. So I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to announce it. I don't think they're going to schedule it. I think they're just going to drop it. They're just going to drop it. Now, we have heard, people saying, April the 1st. We had the guy back in November. He said that the GTA 6 trailer 2 was today. It just so happens that yesterday we're now hearing reports that GTA 6 was added to the back end of PlayStation and that it does have a fall release date. Also, Game Informer's doing something today, just out of nowhere. They go away, they shut down, and now they're announcing something today. We don't know what that is. They've done a lot of exclusives with GTA in the past, so maybe it's related. Maybe it's related. Apparently, Game Informer is still owned by GameStop and set to come back as an online news outlet. That'd be a great way to come back, wouldn't it? Come back swinging with some kind of an exclusive. They could have screenshots. They could have the trailer. They could have, a lot. It could literally just be them saying we're back. It literally could be, the Game Informer thing could be exciting, but in the realm of GTA 6, it could be completely unrelated. So, I feel like a large map can be intimidating at first, but the more we dive into the stories and get invested, it becomes a little bit less. Oh, what game are y'all talking about? You're intimidated by the size of the map. Oh, you've been playing AC Origins recently, trying to catch up for AC Shadows. It's actually an amazing game. Anybody been enjoying Shadows? I've heard so many mixed reviews. Oh, Shadows, the map is huge. Yeah, I mean, the map in Ghost of Tsushima ends up pretty big, but they did a good job, I think, in that game kind of piecemealing things. So, like, you sort of feel like it's not, you don't ever feel, I never felt like I was drinking from the fire hose, right? I never felt like I was drinking from the fire hose in that game. It always felt like they did a good job with the pacing and how you kind of go into new areas. How long have we been asking for GTA 6 trailer 2? Yeah, we've been asking for it a lot. We have been, it's ever since the first one we've been asking. So we'll have to just, I guess, continue to wait and continue to ask the question of what's the best timing for them. I think the best timing for them is separate from earnings calls, is separate from whatever they have planned with PlayStation. If I was on the decision-making team or whatever, I would think the best course of action would be to have this trailer out in the wild with a release date at least 2 weeks before the earnings call, maybe even a month, and have pre-orders go live. You're a couple hours into Shadows, you're enjoying it so far. I really think that if you're going to try to enjoy Assassin's Creed Shadows, you want to turn the voices to Japanese. It makes a huge difference. The English voice acting is extremely inconsistent, and it falls very flat many times. Yeah. You have a mount also now? Yeah, that makes a pretty big difference to having a mount in a large open world. Like having a mount from moment one. Why is Rockstar waiting so long to drop it? Well, this is where I said in my show open that I tend to argue with myself about this when it comes to GTA 6 trailer 2 specifically. I'm like, okay, we're 1 week away from April and your game's coming out this year. It's time to frickin' say something. But then there's the other part of me that starts to say, well, historically speaking, Rockstar likes the runway to a game's launch to be about 4 to 6 months when they really turn things up. I started in English. I tried Japanese when Lono said to, didn't like it at first, switched back to English, and then I randomly went back to Japanese and I haven't gone back. So yeah, I kind of argue with myself about this. It's like I see it from both perspectives. It's like, dude, it's almost April. What are y'all doing? Why are you not dominating, the headlines with screenshots here and a clip there and a hint here? Now, somebody might say, well, they don't have to, right? They don't have to. The gaming press and YouTubers like you are doing all the work for you. Listen, I got news for you. We're already seeing depreciating returns. There was a time where I could put GTA 6 in the title of a stream and put it on the thumbnail, and we would get an automatic, huge bump. That is gone down every time we've covered it. Now, you could say that's because we did it too often. I mean, I'm down to doing it about once a week now. Today is our second time this week. But for the last 4 to 5 weeks, I've tried to limit it to just once a week. We do a show once a week where we kind of cover everything that's been going on with GTA 6. And it doesn't give the bump that it used to. Why? I think the public's tired of it. I think that we don't have to say anything, people will market our game for us. I think that train's running out of steam. I really do. I think people are just annoyed. They're like, either say something, or just say something. I think is most people's posture now. They're kind of sick of waiting. They're kind of sick of sitting around. So I don't know if they can just keep playing the game of, well, our silence, we don't have to say anything. Well, eventually I think you do. Rockstar has never operated this way. They'll drop one more trailer with a release date, and that's it. They don't ever do more than that. If it doesn't land in the spring, it'll be around September. I'm pretty sure that's not accurate. I thought when we researched this, they were doing there was a marketing structure where they were doing screenshot releases as well. They didn't just do the trailer and then nothing else. They also released like screenshots and other pieces of materials. I don't think they did one trailer and then they just go back to saying nothing. when your game is this large, I kind of feel like you can do like a weekly push and it'll go crazy. What happens if Rockstar decides to disappoint us again? Well, I don't know if they view it as disappointing us. My observation of them is they kind of do whatever the heck they want. They don't really do anything that is predictable, or, you know, there's no pattern, there's no like, oh, well, this is how they always do it. More than one trailer, but we've already gotten the first one, and then we get the launch one with the release date. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure when we researched this, we found a website that tracked everything that they did for GTA 5. It wasn't just a second trailer and then nothing. I thought they were doing like screenshot dumps and art dumps and stuff throughout that period of time. It was like a 4 to 6 month marketing period where they were announcing and showing things. We're also in a different time. They're going to have to handle marketing probably a little bit differently. Like, you can't just be like, that's all we're doing. We're never saying anything until the game comes out. I don't know if that's going to be their same game plan. I got to Biome 4 finally on Returnal today. Love that little twist. That's right. It's so good. I really like Biome 4 is, I think, my favorite biome. I think it's the turning point. That's where everything turns. The hinge of that game is the third biome boss. That's the hinge on which Returnal turns. And when we get around that, you turn that corner. Yeah. Very, very good. I think it's a phenomenal turning point for the game. It's also nice that they don't expect you to like do biomes, biome 1 through 6. It's 1 through 3, and then you get the checkpoint. So you always, from this point on, you'll always start in 4 until you beat 6. The electropylon driver on biome 4. Oh yeah. That thing can shred. Yeah, a lot of the weapons, once you start to get them more leveled up and get more perks and things involved, holy crap! Like, you hit a brick wall at the underwater biome. Usually by the time you get to the underwater biome, it's just free and easy because you're so strong. If you're struggling in biome 6, you might be straight lining and not getting enough upgrades and stuff. You may just need to upgrade your weapons in Tower of Sisyphus, so that way when you find them, they're better. I will say that there will be a GTA 6 PS5 or PS5 Pro bundle. I'm fairly confident, given the two sources that have spoken on it, that there is going to be a GTA 6 PlayStation marketing, thing. I do. I think that's going to be apparent. I don't know if that's a bundle, but I do think, according to what we're hearing from what I would consider to be very reliable sources, both Detective Seeds and Middle-Aged Gamer Guy, that there is some kind of an agreement. Yeah. And this is a way you guys can submit questions. If you are a member, you can use ! Question to submit questions, and they're highlighted. And a while ago, Steven said, Rockstar, in my opinion, I feel like it's going to continue milking GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Could that be what they're doing right now, to let the games down until they are ready? I mean, there's certainly an element of, this obviously happened with the Switch, right? They didn't want to say a word about the Switch 2 until it was absolutely necessary, because when you do that, you're going to diminish the demand and the sales of the existing item, the existing product. And that will certainly happen with GTA 5. But GTA 5 has been out for so long. I mean, what are you really going to do to it at this point? It is one of the top played, top sold games on console like every month, and that seems to continue to go up in anticipation of GTA 6. So I don't think they're like holding out the trailer because of that. I think there's more things at play. I think GTA 6 is an enormous game. I think because it's an enormous game, they are, making sure they can hit the release date before they give an official release date. They seemingly also historically like to do marketing in like a 4 to 6, window, and that's because historically a lot of their games get delayed, right? A lot of their games get delayed. So the fall 2025 release date could 100% end up not happening because their pattern of delay is pretty consistent. Whiskey Neat with 26 months. He says, like the stream, chat. And there it is. The next 5 members I owe you is at 150. We'll see if Whiskey Neat didn't just set up a bait for a 20 bomb. It'd be the first 20 bomb of the day. Thank you so much, Whiskey. I have 3 copies of GTA 5. There's concern about that as well. You know, we've had people saying that the way that they handled GTA 5, they're going to do it again, right? They're going to try and release a version of GTA 6 for PS5. And then they're going to have a GTA, 6 for the PS6. And Joker Quinn bumps the line by 1 to 131, and he makes the 20 bomb. And Agents of Chaos, if somebody drops it. Thank you, Joker Quinn. It goes to Tupmaster J. GTA 5 is not my favorite game anymore because, in my opinion, it is so boring to drive around the whole map. I feel like driving around in circles. For Grand Theft Auto 6, I'm happy if we have a way bigger map. Is Rockstar legally obligated to tell the publisher or other studios if they are delaying the game? No, they're legally obligated to make sure that the shareholders are properly informed because they've been given assurances about the influx of revenue this fiscal year. They were given assurances about the fall release date. So there would be, I think, maybe not legal obligation, but some measure of transparency intermingled with their fiduciary duty to the shareholders to say, if it has been delayed, they will need to be properly informed in May at the next earnings call. Like, I don't think they can just keep them in the dark, right? Like, you can't make assurances that, hey, you're going to get real large fiscal growth in this fiscal year, real large revenue growth in this fiscal year. Okay, you have investment firms and you have investors and you have shareholders that are making decisions according to that forecast. If that forecast has changed because the game has been delayed into a different fiscal year, you must, I believe, lawyers and other folks can chime in here, but I believe you must divulge that to the shareholders. So the fact that he doubled down in November and then in February it was like, no, this thing's on pace for the fall. Yeah, he's going to be sitting in a hot bucket of water if he walks out in May and says, yeah, we had to delay it. The SEC is really persnickety about telling your investors what's going on. Yeah. If it gets delayed, I believe there would be some level of requirements in their next earnings call, which is in the middle of May, to tell them that it has been delayed, because that's going to affect revenue and returns for the people that are investing and holding shares in the company. If he doesn't correct the release date to the investors, that's tantamount to lying. Right. I'm here to tell you, not telling them is terrible. Telling them there's a delay in May is pretty close to just as terrible. You're going to have some pretty irritated shareholders. They're going to be like, why did you give us assurances the last 2 earnings calls? You didn't just say that the game was coming along and doing well. You said, no, we're hitting fall of 2025. That's what you said. If they're making investment plans and again, because they're publicly traded, and you come back after giving that many assurances and you say, yeah, sorry, it had to get delayed, that could be a pretty dire situation for Strauss. He would not be in a good spot. Unless, of course, they were able to delay it to February of March of next year and it still landed within the fiscal period. If it still lands within the fiscal period, he'd probably be okay because he'd be able to say, listen, we're going to do pre-orders at this time, trailer at this time, marketing push at this time. We're confident that this won't diminish sales. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a Schreier-esque expose on GTA 6 post-launch about crunch and whatnot. They need to manage expectations so they don't end up falling short of revenue goals last minute. That's exactly right. So, 19 minutes until Game Informer posts something. That's just my guess. I think that Game Informer is going to do something at noon Eastern. Their post about coming back went live at noon Eastern, 12:04. So this tweet here about them coming back, this went live at 12:04 on March the 19th. So, it stands to reason that they like to do things around that time. The tweet below that went live at 11:46, right? Just 15 minutes before noon. So they seem to operate within, that potential time zone of announcements, right? A lot of these other publications and things they did were at 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon. But like announcements about this have both happened around noon Eastern. So it's only 10:45. I'm having a crazy productive morning. Why? What are you, Central? And we will be covering the Switch 2 news tomorrow. There's a lot coming out about Switch 2 and an alleged Nintendo Direct sometime this week. So we will obviously be covering that tomorrow. That's not in the story today, the thumbnail today, or the title today. If you're just tuning in, take a quick second and go through the ritual of hitting the like button. You can submit questions with the question command. You can support the channel with the join button. Just make sure you pick Member Plus. You could order coffee or soda. The coffee's mine. The soda is a sponsor. You guys are the best. All your support. Those are all the great ways to support what we do every day. I need the Switch 2 to suck. I already don't have time for all these games. And Siege Master comes in with the VIP renewal. Another month to the Big 40. Thank you so much. That's 132 members on the week. Thank you so much. Rush says that the coffee is incredible. Thank you. I really hope MinMax and Ben Hansen somehow got a hold of Game Informer. He already said that didn't happen. No disrespect to you, but I'm not leaving you a like. I'm giving you a viewer. I'm a viewer. I want to view the video. That's it. You have to earn the like. I mean, however you want to interact with YouTube is your choice, man. That's up to you. It just helps my video find more people. That's why likes are good and helpful. It's like, hey, I'm liking this video. I hope more people find this video. If you don't want to click the like, I can't force you. And a 5-bomb comes in from Siege Master, and he gets us to 137. Thank you so much. We can make him earn the like. Can't wait to try your coffee. Placed the order yesterday. Thank you, Mikey Bot. The orders were printed last night. The fam is very busy on Tuesday, so it'll get shipped tomorrow. Wife and kiddos are full up schedule every Tuesday. So can't afford it. Do better. Oh man. Really hoping we get a release date from Spine as well. It's sort of like the John Wick inspired game with what they call Gun Fu. Hoping that game gets a release date soon. JG from Space says, that's BS. Just tap the like. It's literally the least you could do for a content creator and all the work they put in their content. I mean, I'm never going to browbeat anybody about it. It's, it's minimal effort, but it provides YouTube a metric to say, hey, people are enjoying this content. We should put this in front of more people, right? People with your palette, people that like the videos that you like, the coverage that you like, the games that you like, they're going to find the video because you hit like. The Outer Worlds gets a nom ahead of some bigger titles. It's just saying. Game of the Year noms were Sekiro, Control, Death Stranding, Outer Worlds, Resident Evil 2, Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, I think you're forgetting, though, Lone Wolf. Sequels have got to be pretty dadgum awesome to pull that off. And they certainly could. But this is a tough year. I mean, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that was certainly a tough year, right? As well as Sekiro. That was a tough year, but I think this year's even tougher. Homie. You've got GTA 6, you've got Death Stranding, you've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you got Monhun Wilds, you got, Split Fiction. Like, you've so many games that are gunning for that spot. I don't know. Look at the other games it beat out. It got an 83. Link's Awakening, Gears 5, Devil May Cry 5, Super Mario Maker. It is interesting. It is interesting that it didn't score that well, but it still got a nom against games that scored better. Always a little interesting when that happens. Outer Worlds 1 was aggressively mid. I don't see the sequel making waves and everything with everything else coming this year. Death Stranding did the same. Yeah, I wonder if that's the Kojima effect, and I wonder if, Obsidian has a similar effect on people. They just really love those guys and the work that they do, similar to Kojima, which can affect the noms, right? There's obviously going to be bias, and there's going to be leans. You also don't know, like the studio, the reviews that pulled down Death Stranding 1 and the reviews that pulled down The Outer Worlds, they might not even been in the voting process. So they're like, do you see what I'm saying? If the outfits that were maybe more critical or more lukewarm or negative about Death Stranding weren't in the voting process, then that automatically gives it a bump, which is why I continue to think Death Stranding 2 is the front runner based on everything we've seen. I think Kojima is reached a new level of media darling, and it's deserved, as far as I can tell. I think he makes masterpieces, so it makes sense why people do that. I tried to get into Death Stranding multiple times, just can't get it to stick. The biggest dilemma with Death Stranding 1 is that, and I never say this about any game, you quite literally have to get past like the 5 or 6 hour mark. I saw somebody tweet that the other day. They're like, this is just an unusual, way to recommend a game. I actually typically say that's a terrible way to get into a game because you're gambling. You're gambling with your most valuable currency. You're gambling with your time. Your most valuable currency, the thing that you cannot get a refund on, the thing that you can't get back, okay, is your time. And for you to put 5 hours into a game, hoping that, like, you're basically trusting Kojima to not do you wrong. You're trusting him. You're trusting to be like, okay, everybody keeps saying that the mechanics, everybody keeps saying that the gameplay loop really turns, further on. I typically do not endorse games like that. I typically say, if you can't hook me in the first 2 hours with your content loop, why would I trust that things are going to get better? Okay. There's a level of, this is going to sound weird, but there's almost like a level of Metroidvania to what Kojima did in Death Stranding. There's a little bit of a level of brilliance here. So he introduces pain points and frustration points that are then alleviated, made better, and smoothed over by you getting new equipment, you getting new abilities, you getting new stuff. Kind of like how when you're playing like a Metroidvania and you don't have a double jump, a dash, a lasso, a grappling hook, right? And then all of a sudden you get those, and your movement and your choices and your navigating of the world and your navigating of combat suddenly gets better. I false started with the game, right? I got 4 hours in, and now I've got 32 hours in the game. I also think something I would recommend to people, if you're just wanting to experience it and get immersed in the world and the story, I think I would turn the difficulty down. I know that has helped me enjoy the game because I'm not having these significant setbacks. I'm not having like, oops, got snagged by a BT or got caught by some mules, dead, lost progress, got to go back, right? I think that's helping as well. If you guys are just tuning in, we've been, all eyes on the horizon for the GTA 6 trailer 2. We're also keeping an eye on Game Informer. Yes, Paul, thank you for the DM. We'll probably end up covering that tomorrow. Yes, yeah, there's stuff going on. There's some Switch 2 stuff going on. We're also keeping our eyes on Game Informer. I believe Game Informer is going to do something within the next 10 minutes around noon Eastern. It could be related to GTA 6. It could be related. There's a lot of coincidences lining up with today. Wait, Lono, have you seen the big BT octopus when you get caught by the little ones? I mean, I fought like a lion. I got grabbed once and drug along the ground and fought like a BT lion. So, new Monhunt update looks cool, but not enough to make me come back. Would rather wait for an actual DLC, not a fan of drip feed. Morning, Loto in chat. My soda was delivered today. I'm excited to get home and try it out. Well, congrats, Sorcerer. Thank you guys for continuing to support our new partnership with Sprecher, especially if you're playing AC Shadows. They have an AC Shadows can where you can get an item in the game. I don't like soda. I don't like root beer, and I have liked pretty much every single one that we have tried. Their cherry cola surprised both my wife and I. She's tried some of these other brands that like the influencers are pushing, and she's like, this actually tastes good. And you know, I'm not going to list the competitors, but she listed them to me, and she's like, that's what I expected. And she's like, and this is actually very good. I especially like the fact that there's no caffeine, because I don't like having caffeine after the morning. After the morning, I do not like having caffeine. So I've had them. Their cherry cola. It's not cherry. It's like a cherry Coke, right? It's a cherry cola. Their orange cream, their cream soda. It's all incredibly good. I'm very surprised. And they make it with raw honey. It's fire brewed. It's excellent. And a lot of you guys have supported it. We've had like over 30 orders since we activated with them, and that's just such a huge amount of support. We've got really big things coming this year. You guys are going to remember that I kept saying that we've got really big things coming this year, and you'll be excited when we finally get to reveal some of those things. So, cherry flavors are quite popular in Russia. Shut up, Zubair. Same, 1 cup before work, days off. I'm not big on caffeine. Does your coffee come in Keurig pods? No, but you can get reusable Keurig pods from Amazon and you can get my coffee, because my coffee's pre-ground, so you can get those reusable ones. Hey, Reforge, are we defo getting GTA 6 Trailer 2 today, or is it another Rockstar tease? This is, okay, so let me give you guys a bit of a recap on everything that lined up. I didn't do a waiting room because I thought there wasn't enough to corroborate and do a waiting room, okay? I want something a little bit more concrete. But these are all the things that transpired. And while I'm doing this, give me some likes. We only need 14 more likes to 400. So all the way back in November, right? All the way back in November, somebody just randomly claimed that the next trailer, GTA 6 Trailer 2, would be on March 25th. Just like a very random date. They recently resurfaced and they re-emphasized that it was indeed coming on March 25th. Again, this is all the way back in November. They recently resurfaced and they're like, no, it's coming on March 25th. Just yesterday, Detective Seeds, who's had a very consistent track record recently, and he clearly has sources in the industry, he said that a very big game got added to the back end of PlayStation with the fall 2025 release. So I reached out privately to a source that has been extremely reliable, and they gave me a lot of winks and nudges and essentially confirmed that it was in fact GTA 6 and that it does have a release date for the fall. Now, I was waiting for public corroboration, and if I got it, if somebody else would have said something, I was going to run a waiting room. We didn't get that. Now, the other thing that's lining up with this is Game Informer is doing something today, and historically speaking, they have received a lot of exclusives and a lot of things with GTA 6. It's possible they had all that lined up and they had some kind of a contractual thing set up even before they shut down, and they found out a way to come back, and that's going to be what we get. We get something from them. Maybe they get to push the trailer out. Maybe they get to announce the trailer. I don't know. But in the next 5 minutes, I think Game Informer is going to do something, and it may or may not be related. That's why GTA 6 Trailer 2 is in the headline for today. I've tried to limit it to once a week. I really have. You guys have to know, I much prefer to end a week and have every single talk show with like different topics and different subjects. We got on a flat tire with Assassin's Creed Shadows. It was basically like 3 or 4 days in a row. That's primarily what we covered. I don't have any control over that, right? When a big game drops and when big news hits, a lot of other, things go quiet because they don't want to get stepped on. And Assassin's Creed Shadows took over the news cycle. I don't have any control over that. I cannot control what is relevant and what is not. And the news cycle is slow right now. And I thought this was kind of the biggest story outside of AC Shadow sales numbers doing well, which we've already talked about that a bunch. So that would have been a bit of a dead horse, but it was revealed yesterday that it was the second most successful Assassin's Creed sales day one in history. It broke records on PlayStation. And so that's where we are. I'm going to continue to refresh the feeds here. Game Informer, I think, is going to be posting something in the next couple of minutes. That would be my guess. For AC games, it was the second best revenue sales day one for all AC games. It was their second best behind Valhalla. Now, Ubisoft acknowledged that Valhalla had a significant advantage because of the pandemic. Also, AC games traditionally were launching around the Thanksgiving period, which is a bigger time period for sales than March. So the fact that it pulled second place is very impressive. What's the difference in budgets? Who cares about that? If that's going to be the new approach to claim that the game didn't do well because it had a big budget, everybody that was attacking the game, I'm not saying you're attacking the game, but everybody that was attacking the game and saying go woke, go broke, was saying that the game was going to flop. It very clearly did not flop. It didn't flop. It sold well. It's done well. And if we're going to have to run to, but it didn't save Ubisoft, though, I take that as admission that those who brigaded against it, failed. Budget versus profit, no, I do like the game. Well, if you do like the game, concern about budget versus profit makes sense. Like, you want the game to be profitable. They have all but said there's more content coming, right? Budget versus profit's the only successful measure. I don't agree with that. I agree with that in the realm of, like, if the game will continue to get content, the IP and the studios are then safe. The hope would be that it was very commercially profitable and they're motivated to keep things going, right? That, obviously, I agree that we want to see it generate lots of profit, because then you're, in my mind, you're going to see them do more. And they basically took to Reddit and to Twitter and thanked everybody. They went to Twitter and they went to Reddit and they thanked everybody and said that they're not done yet, that the world's going to evolve and they've got big plans. So we shall see. All right, I'm refreshing the feeds right now to see if Game Informer's doing anything, if Rockstar's doing anything. It is noon. And I've continued to say that if we get to 1 o'clock today, I would say we're not getting anything. If we get to 1. Now, Game Informer's still doing something today. We don't know what they're doing. They don't rigidly post like right at noon on the nose. So Game Informer could post something in the next 5 minutes and it would still be around the window of time when they have been posting about this update. So I just keep refreshing. GTA 6 trailer not coming out today because Mafia trailer didn't come out because of the same publisher. That's not logically sound, but okay. I don't see those things being connected like at all. Imperial just pushed out something, tweeted. Do you trust pro Xbox journalists and content creators who sold you on the One X, the Series S and the X, Cyberpunk, $700 PS5 Pro equivalent PCs, wait till E3, Game Pass PC handhelds, and now Steam on consoles? Why? No. All right, I'm not seeing anything yet from Game Informer. Is it coming today? I don't know. Listen, we're not going to do this for the rest of the week. If it doesn't come today, I think it could come this week, because according to what I've been told, it's been added to the back end of PlayStation. According to what I've been told, It was added to the back end of PlayStation. That means they're getting ready to do something, right? That means they're getting ready to push out the trailer, push out the, hey, wish list, pre-order date, all of that. So we will we'll just continue to watch the feeds here. We are going to play first Berserker Khazan today in a separate stream. If you like gameplay and you want to see that game on the PS5 Pro, I will also be playing it on easy to showcase that for all you more casual dad gamers out there. I played the beta and I played the demo at normal difficulty and was able to beat all the bosses. I think I beat all the bosses. I think I got to that one. Was it the final boss in the room with the water? I think was the last one. I was able to beat him. From all of the bad reviews on AC Shadows, I decided to download it on Xbox through Ubisoft Premium because I wasn't too sure it was good or not. But I feel like it was the best decision of my life. It was the best decision of your life. Yeah, I mean, there were way more positive reviews than negative. It got a very decent score. Only 17,000 average views on Game Informer. I don't know. Makes me feel like this is all a bust. I wasn't really hitching my wagon to Game Informer with today's prediction. I was more saying that it getting added to the store the day before that guy just like randomly picked March 25th. That to me was too much of a coincidence to ignore, right? Ignore the brand new cinematic trailer for Tainted Grail: Fall of Avalon, an open world first person RPG based on the hugely popular board game coming later this year. If it's coming later this year, why do we keep getting cinematic trailers? I want gameplay. I only want cinematic trailers if your game is more than like a year away. Like if it's over a year, if it's 18 months to 24 months away, I'm fine with cinematic trailers. But when your game is this close, like show me some gameplay, dude. I've been checking the PlayStation Store, YouTube channel, and their website, and nothing. Yeah, Khazan got an 80 on Metacritic. It seems to be doing better with the users. When I go PlayStation Store and I go Deluxe Edition, those are the only people who can review it right now. Oh, no, I had to go Steam. I think Steam people are able to leave reviews right now because they're able to get in early. On Steam, out of 786 reviews, it has a 94%. So Khazan's doing very well. In its first almost 1,000 reviews on Steam, it's got a 94. That's a good sign. The demo, I think, on PlayStation had like an 88%, I believe. An 88%. So the main headline right now is that there are publishers who are actively speaking about their concerns and their worry with a potential delay of GTA 6 and what they're trying to do to avoid GTA 6. And I just keep refreshing Twitter. And Discord drops a big update with a completely new in-game overlay and new dark themes for the desktop client. For those of you that like to use Discord on the desktop, PC Gamer reporting that. I had a feeling that Khazan was going to get better scores with the user. I feel like, kind of like Lies of P, I feel like combat, Souls-focused games, like Souls-adjacent games, I feel like those games struggle to get strong scores with the review outlets. I feel like they tend to struggle there. Because I feel like people come in with expectations. Like, one that I never really checked on, but I'm actually curious about, was Timesia. So Timesia got a 69 from the critics, and then Timesia actually did poor with the users as well. It got like a 70. So it looks like there's agreement there. Maybe I didn't play long enough. I really enjoyed Timesia when I played it, and some of the things clicked for me, like parries and stuff, especially because you had to spend a little bit of money. Spend a little bit on the skill trees to get the the parry made better. Journalists struggle with hard games. Yeah, I would say that's, a bit of a trope, but I'm going to give some of the journalists a little bit of flack because sometimes they're dealing with a time crunch. And when you're dealing with a time crunch, what does that sound? Give me 1 second. It sounds like my ice machine's working, but it shouldn't be on. I don't know. If someone's in the house, I don't know. Maybe I'm about to die. All right, hang on. I'm checking the feeds. Enjoy the zip line runs. I'm trying to build the zip lines. VGC's first physical book, the 2025 Guide to Video Games, is now available to buy. So VGC did a physical book that they're selling. Another thing about Nintendo. And the Nintendo stuff's heating up too. It's heating up. The leaks are heating up, man. All right, let's see here. Still nothing from Game Informer. Gaming journalism is the equivalent to going to the bathroom journalism. Everyone does it, but they write about it. You can pre-install AI Limit right now. I've already got Khazan, first Berserker Khazan installed. And we'll be playing that today. Take-Two trolling us. I bet it'll be noon central if they're still in Minneapolis, so it could be at 1. It seemed like they had done some tweets about it when they closed down and when they were announcing whatever this is, their comeback or whatever. They sent those tweets around noon Eastern, so I wasn't sure if they were going to do that again. Hey, somebody ordered some of the soda from Sprecher. Thank you so much for doing that, man. That does support me, and I appreciate it so much. We haven't even been activated with them for a week. We haven't even been with a week, and we've got like 32 orders or something crazy like that. So thank you, everybody who just continues to do that. I greatly appreciate it. It is it's extremely comforting to know we have that level of support whenever we activate with a company. It's nice. What flavors do they have? Their orange cream might be my favorite because it's like a creamsicle in a can. They've got cherry cola. I don't even like root beer. I don't. You guys have heard me rant about root beer, and I like their root beer. I was genuinely surprised. So they have the orange cream, the cherry cola, which is like a cherry Coke. That one surprised both my wife and I. She's tried a lot of the other brands of soda that are out there. She's a huge Diet Coke fan, but she's tried some of like the bougie soda that like the female content creators on Instagram push, and she didn't like any of those, and she thought this cherry cola was very good. So orange cream, cherry cola, cream soda, root beer. They have one called Green River. It's just like their take on like the lemon lime like soda. That was the only one I didn't like that much. TRM with 36 months and a VIP. It was me that ordered it. No problem. So 3 years of membership, and the man decides to order himself some soda. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. We have a handful of sponsors that we work with, and we're obviously expanding that as well, and hopefully have some good announcements coming soon. Like I keep telling you guys, big things this year, man. It's the theme of the year. What are your thoughts on the Samurai Simulator meme going around, which is supposed to be a dig at Ubisoft, which is basically AC Samurai fighting crabs and Transformers? I don't understand. What are you saying? What are you saying? What's the name of the soda? It's Sprecher. They use honey. They use raw honey. It's fire brewed craft soda, and they make it with what's it say here? Natural. Oh, it's a natural antioxidant. Yeah. It's also caffeine free. It's gluten free. It's award winning. It's kosher. They were named didn't they get an award? Best root beer in America by the New York Times and Taste. There you go. So, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm going to ask them about maybe getting some of the syrup, because my wife has one of those soda streams where we can make our own soda, and you can do that instead of just buying them in the cans. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has been delayed to October of 2025. So if you guys were looking forward to that one, it's gotten pushed back. Assassin's Creed Shadows sold more physical copies in 1 week in the UK than Star Wars Outlaws did in 3 months. But, you know, the game flopped, right? Getting kosher certifications is actually a pain, so that's good to hear. FCAT says, we have Zataran's root beer here. Make it just like Kool-Aid. Zataran's? What are you down in? Are you down in New Orleans? Are you down in, what do they say? Nolans? Are you down in New Orleans? I'm talking about Yasuke Simulator, which somehow got more viewers than AC Shadows. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you saying that there's a game that's called that? It's been my number 2 behind Silk Song for a few years. Oh, yes. Oh, it's on Steam. Oh, are you saying that it got, what, like higher on the Steam charts or something? I mean, I'm looking at Yasuke Simulator right now, and its peak was 271. So what, did like some really big streamer play it, and people think that's like some kind of a win? That they got tons of views as like a meme on Twitch or something? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, Zach played it. Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on, boys. Oh, man. Do you mean one of the world's most popular, most watched streamers streamed a silly game and it got more views? Oh, yeah, okay. Listen. The guys that were hating on that game are down so bad, they'll take any win that they can. They'll be like, well, at 3 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, there were more people playing this game. Jiminy Christmas. Just take the dadgum L. The game has been commercially successful. All of your efforts, you know. Let me ask you something. All y'all that thought you won some kind of a fight by downvoting the video on YouTube, and people kept citing the like ratio as if the game was cooked, and it has seemingly done incredibly well commercially, critically, and technically. It's been praised as well. What'd those dislikes do? What'd they do? They probably made you feel good for like an afternoon or maybe a couple weeks or something like that, because you kept going back and checking, you know, the dislike ratio on the vids. But it's pretty clear it did nothing. So, I don't know. Just take the L on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Take the L on Monhun Wilds, take the L on Split Fiction, and take the biggest one of all, AC Shadows, because they were gunning for it for a long time. And, yeah. When's Game Informer posting? I don't know. I thought it was going to be around noon. I mean, maybe it is around 1. I don't know. I got to admit, AC Shadows is even the most polished AC play at launch in a decade. It's been highly praised by Digital Foundry for the technical work that went into it and what it looks like. Yeah. Yeah. Like, listen. I think there's a difference between people that are like, well, I don't want to play it, or I don't agree with choices they made. That's fine. There were people that were actively brigading against it, campaigning against it, and hoping that they were going to be able to throw confetti in the air and say, go woke, go broke. When it was clear that was not happening, they quickly ran to false comparisons like, well, it pulled similar concurrent player numbers that Dragon Age Veilguard did. Okay, well, there are plenty of games that have pulled similar concurrent numbers that have been insanely commercially successful, like, I don't know, AC Origins, AC Odyssey, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. These games have pulled similar concurrent numbers and yet seemingly were incredibly commercially successful because there are games that do better on console, sell better on console. According to Ubisoft's own sales reports, 73% of the sales of Assassin's Creed Shadows was on console. Only like 27% were on PC. So take the L. I mean, just take it. They misfired. I told you they were going to misfire. I told you they were going to pick bad targets and that they were going to overstretch and that they were going to pick a bunch of games. They were going to call them woke and they were going to just cry them as failures and flops, and they were going to perform well anyway. They did it with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They did it with Monhun Wilds. They did it with Split Fiction. They did it with Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're going to do it with Ghosts of Yotei. They're going to now South of Midnight. I don't think South of Midnight's going to be some insanely commercially successful game, but they're going to do it with Ghosts of Yotei, right? They're probably going to do the same thing with Intergalactic. For goodness sakes, they still try to do it with The Last of Us Part 2. These guys are in such denial. They still try to act like The Last of Us Part 2 was some egregious failure, and yet it sold 10 million copies. So again, The Last of Us Part 2 is at the threshold of sales of a multi-plat game like AC Origins and AC Odyssey. Both of those games sold around 10 million lifetime, and The Last of Us Part 2, a single platform title, right, and exclusive to PlayStation, sold the same as multi-plat big name household name titles like AC. AC Odyssey and Origins are the second and third most commercially successful Assassin's Creeds to date. These guys are still holding on to this narrative that they have some kind of power or sway, or that, Neil Druckmann did this interview and he doesn't care what the fans think. No, he doesn't care what you think. He doesn't care what you think. And I know that hurts. And I know that's like a sobering reality, but he doesn't care what you think. Sorry. Not sorry. The gaming world is so much bigger than the anger merchants. Seriously, the global gaming world is just so much bigger than the anger merchants and the people who watch and consume the content. You're a portion of the gaming populace. You're a portion of the gaming community. But there's so many other people out there that aren't you. I was really skeptical. I thought Ghost of Tsushima deserved Game of the Year, and then I played The Last of Us Part 2, and I was like, yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong about the story. I have my criticisms of pacing. I have my criticisms of some of the things that they did, but overall, I thought the game was excellent. I thought it was award-winning. And I went in as a huge skeptic. I was like, I don't know about this, man. I question their choices, right? Anger merchants, loan phrases are the best. Well, that's what they are. They're merchants of a one-string banjo emotion, anger. You're basically just plucking that banjo and getting all of the disenfranchised, angry young men of the world to come watch your videos and, yeah, it's woke. And it's like, oh, okay. It's not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to solve your issues. It's not going to make you feel like a more whole person. But it'll certainly, give you that dopamine hit of we're strong and powerful and we're taking back gaming. You're not taking back anything. You're just feeding the ad revenue of merchants of rage. And that's all you're doing. You've achieved nothing other than propping up frauds and grifters and liars and lined their pockets and seemingly have achieved nothing. You've achieved nothing. So, well, it's 12:22. We're going to hang out. We're going to see if we get something at 1 p.m. Eastern from Game Informer or from Rockstar from GTA. I told y'all if we got past 1, I don't think we get anything. I don't think we get anything. I don't get it. I play video games to escape. I don't want to bring negative, angry energy to that arena. The real world has enough of that already. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have to understand that that's what they're doing. The video game that they're playing is not a video game, but they're playing a game. They're playing some simulation where I really want you to think about this. Really kind of psychoanalyze what's going on. One of the reasons that games can be so satisfying is because you get to live out a hero fantasy. You get to live out the I'm going to stop the evil thing and I'm going to be the good guy. That's precisely what these people are doing. They're playing a game where they envision themselves as the hero and they're waging some fight against the people that they view or the thing that they view as evil and bad. And the disillusionment and the fracturing of their worldview that's happening right now is that you have achieved nothing other than propping up tourists and frauds who don't even game. They don't care about gaming. They don't care about honesty and integrity. They lie to you. They make false claims because it'll make you angry, it'll make you click, it'll make you comment, and they make money off of that. Claiming that South of Midnight race swapped, claiming that Ghosts of Yote gender swapped. These people are liars. I don't play nice with them. I don't name and shame, but I don't play nice. There's no reason to. They're not worthy of respect. They're not worthy of intellectual engagement. They're not even worthy of being falsified. They're not. You just state it. It's not true. I got an email from... Shut the frick up. You can get an email from anybody. Be quiet. All they're doing is dealing in rage. They're anger merchants. They're just dealing like, we can get people angry, we can stir them up. So these people that feel they're being the hero, you should have seen some of the comments on my video where I said in a live stream, I made a prediction about 2025. I told you guys, I said the anti-woke grifters are going to have to move out of gaming. They're going to have to move out of gaming and they're going to have to move to culture political war. Why? Because they're going to choose a bunch of bad targets and they're going to swing and miss. I said they're not going to be able to take down these games. Yote and AC Shadows, and then when they went after Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monhun Wilds and even Split Fiction, I was like, what a bunch of buffoons. They're going to pick bad targets. They had really easy targets with Concord and Kill the Justice League, and they got really cocky. And I said they're going to pick a bunch of bad targets, and they're going to have to move on because they're going to be seen to not know what they're talking about. More than that, they're going to be seen for frauds. It's like we didn't achieve what you said we were achieving. We didn't actually do anything. All we did was brigade a button on a video. We all went and hit the thumbs down on a YouTube video. You've achieved nothing. You've achieved nothing. The games you targeted have all done well, and they're doing just fine. Monhun, they raged at because you could put a beard on a girl. And they were like, this is woke. Because the character creator was robust. You know, it's like raging against AC Shadows for having romance options, which has been in how many games up to now? You know, how many games up to now have have had that as an option. You can romance whoever you want. Once the games do well, the narrative becomes no one called them woke. It happened with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Split Fiction. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Look at what they're doing with Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's in the headline today. That's on the thumbnail. That's a relevant topic. Look at what they're doing now. But it's not enough to save Ubisoft. So what they're going to do is they're going to move the goalpost into a whole new stadium, and now they're going to say, yep, AC Shadows wasn't good enough to save Ubisoft. Go woke, go broke. Do you understand? Like, it was that the game was going to suck, and the game was going to bomb, and the game was going to flop. And they were grabbing onto those Steam charts with just white knuckles. Like, yeah, look at this. And they, comparing it to Dragon Age Veilguard. Well, now the sales reports are coming out. And it's like, oops. You overshot. Because I kept telling people, I'm like, AC has a stronger history on console. What do you actually think the Steam concurrent numbers are an indication of anything? They were an indication of word of mouth spreading. It went up 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 every day that the concurrent number record went up. And I told you guys what I say. It'll peak on Sunday. It peaked on Sunday. What was woke about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Gay romance options. Yeah, there were gay romance options. Yep. So to me, it's like, I told you they were going to swing and a miss. I told you they were going to have to, pivot, and they're going to start talking about other things. And just you watch. Just you watch. End of this year, a bunch of those channels are going to be talking about culture and politics stuff. They'll move on. Pathalon Phoenix with the VIP Plus, and it's there for 2 months. That's a VIP Plus. I'm counting that as 2. That takes us to 140. We're a 10 bomb away from 150. You remember people were saying that AC Shadows was woke, and now they're complaining that the history isn't correct? Listen. And a 5 bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix. He's been supporting the channel so much lately, man. So consistent. Thank you, sir. Listen, none of the complaints were consistent. They just kept moving. And now, what are they left? What are they left with? Well, now it's going to be AC Shadows wasn't enough to save a company that has 20,000 employees. They're going to hang the totality. Siriu with the 5 bomb gets us to 150 just like that. The tag team with Pathalon Phoenix and gets us to 150. I don't know if that'll tantalize a 50 bomb to 200, but that's a nice setup. Thank you very much, Siriu. I want you to track with the logic. Game's going to flop, game's going to suck. Look at the Steam charts. Ha, ha, ha. And they're comparing it to Dragon Age Veilguard. And as soon as the information starts to land that the game has been commercially successful, Tommy Hendy says that according to his sources, it's done well. And then VGC says they've received sales data from Ubisoft, right? They've received sales data from Ubisoft. And then what's the narrative switch to? Oh, it's not going to be enough to save Ubisoft. Who in the frick ever said that was this game's job? Who ever said that Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's on that game to save Ubisoft? What the frick? That Ubisoft got like 20,000 employees. They've been striking out left and right with Skull and Bones and with Avatar and with Star Wars Outlaws. And you want to take AC Shadows and hang it around the neck of Ubisoft? That's dumb. There's no way Ubisoft's situation gets rectified by one game. Can you say what you've heard about the possible GTA 6 in the PS Store cover art? I was told by a very reliable source that the game added to the back end was GTA 6, and it does in fact have a fall release date. That's what I was told from a source that I trust. After I saw Detective Seed's tweet, I reached out privately to a source that I trust. This is somebody who's gotten things right. And I mean, Seed's tweeting what he did. He's got a great track record too, so. Shadow Gamer, you're asking that question over and over again. You're not going to get a response from me, man. There's no reason for us to talk about that. It'd be funny for Zach to say he was wrong about AC Shadows. But I thought he did say he was enjoying it, or did he change his mind? Zach, he's talking about Asmongold. Did he change his mind? Hi-Fi Rush was an instant hit, and it didn't save a dev company from being axed. He gave it a 6, which is fair. He said it was a mid-game. That's fine. I mean, everybody's going to have a different opinion. Hang on a second. What? Now, why are they doing that? What in the world's going on? There's no reason for the trash man to go to the backyard. What are you doing? Oh, it's not the trash man. Okay. I was like, what the frick is happening? It's the lawn care guys, the one they spray. You can call the game mid for sure, but it isn't cooked. Yeah, I don't care if somebody plays the game, like, right, if Asmongold played the game and he came to the conclusion that it's mid and, you know, he didn't like it, he gives it a 6, that's fine. That's fine. Like, he didn't eviscerate it. He didn't, like, fake rage about it. He played it. He was having a good time at one point because he told his audience, like, he's like, I'm not faking enjoying it or whatever. He was having a fine time. But if he comes to the conclusion that he's like, no, it's a 6, it's mid, that's fine. Like, I don't expect every single person to play the game to enjoy it. That's not reasonable, right? There are going to be people that play it that don't like it. I continue to think that the story hits harder when you're not on the English voice acting. I think the English voice acting really harms the punch of the story. There's more gravity, there's more intensity when you're playing in Japanese. I didn't think that the English voice actors did a very good job. I'm not talking about somebody playing the game and concluding, I don't like it, it's mid, it's a 6. No, that's fine. I'm talking about the people who brigaded against it and acted like the game was going to flop because of decisions that the developer made that they didn't agree with. The romance options, I mean, that's been in how many AC games up to now, and nobody had a problem with it. You could do a gay romance in, I know you could do it in Odyssey. I know you could do it in Valhalla. I don't know if you could do it in Origins or not. And the only way you get there is by picking like a steady cadence of flirtation to get to the point that it's even an option. It's not like shoved in your face or shoved down your throat. It's not. It's something you have to actively pursue. You can do gay romance in Starfield, just ask Doc Dark. Yeah, I thought his video about that was funny. He said, like, his homie was like, do you love me? And he was like, yeah, I love you, man. We've been through a lot. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. That was a good video from Doc. That was a good video. Doc's like, yeah, man. Of course I love you. You can't do it in Origins. They introduced it in Odyssey. Right. So it both in Odyssey and Valhalla you can do it. You can. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Keep speaking facts. Great live streams. Thank you. Yeah. So in a very, very general way, I think that the people, you should have seen the comments when I made my prediction. You should have seen the comments when I made my prediction. When I made my prediction about what was going to happen and they were going to pick bad targets, man, oh man, I had people that really jumped in the comments that were like, they truly believed that they were saving gaming. And I'm like, saving gaming from what? And beyond that, it's very, very clear that whatever they thought they were doing with AC Shadows, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. GTA 6 trailer 2. We had a rumor it was coming today. We had someone claiming thank you for the $5 super chat tip. First super chat of the day. Lottie says, new here. I love you already, Lamau. Thank you. There was a rumor back in November that a trailer was dropping today, that GTA 6 trailer 2 was dropping today. That person resurfaced recently and said, yep, it's coming on the 25th. Then yesterday, Detective Seeds, who has clearly got inside information and contacts in the industry, he said the back end of PlayStation had a very large game that was added with the fall 2025 release date. So I reached out to a source that I trust, and they basically gave me a pretty strong wink and nudge that it was GTA 6 and it did have a release date for 2025. And I thought that seems too coincidental that the day they added GTA 6 to the back end of the store of PlayStation with the release date, it was the same exact time frame of a guy predicting the trailer. So we didn't do a waiting room, we just added it to the title and the thumbnail. I'm trying not to put GTA 6 in the title and thumbnail too often, but it's a little unavoidable right now. The news cycle slowed down after AC Shadows, and GTA 6 is going to continue to be the most anticipated, most probably leaky game of the year. Broken Surprise with 25 months in a VIP. That's an Agent of Chaos. That puts us at 151. Did I do the 5? No, I owe you guys a 5 bomb. Let me do a 5 bomb of members. Every 25 members, I give 5. So thank you guys so much. If you want to support the channel directly, consider clicking join and make sure you pick Member Plus. Don't pick Member Lite. Member Lite is a gifted membership tier. When's the comeback for Game Informer? We don't know. I thought they were going to say something at noon. They haven't said anything yet, so we're thinking maybe 1 o'clock. We're thinking maybe 1 o'clock. That would be when they decide. So, as it stands right now, we have nothing from Game Informer. And Lottie with another $5 super chat tip is going to hit that super chat goal all by themselves. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And guys, they really want us running automatic ads on YouTube. They have this new thing now when I schedule a stream. It's this whole menu that shoves everything down. It's like, are you sure you don't want to turn this on? People that turn this on earn more. No, I don't want to turn that on. That is so bad for the viewer experience. It's so bad for the viewer experience. Okay, let's do that. I am going to schedule first Berserker. And we'll do that. We usually do gameplay for about an hour when we're trying to show off a new game. And so I thought this would be a good game to show you, especially because I'm sure there are people that have questions about it. I'm going to refresh chat. If you're watching on Chrome, be sure to refresh chat every now and again. It'll protect you from the Chrome crash. All right. There we go. We have no evidence it is not on the Xbox back end. We have no leaks about it. We don't know. I hope to see Mafia Old Country gameplay trailer and release date. Didn't they just release a new trailer recently that had some gameplay in it? Or it might have been simulated. It might not have been raw gameplay. I would love to see some more gameplay of I would love to see some actual like raw gameplay of Mafia the Old Country. I agree with you. And release date would be nice, you know. GTA 6 delay. I don't think so. Lottie with another super chat. Holy mackerel. $10 super chat. This whole woke thing makes me laugh because someone tried to stop me from playing Cyberpunk for this exact reason, just to find out they were mad over one trans character. I mean, yeah, Cyberpunk? Really? Really? We want to get back to PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era, says Phantom Blade Zero director. When the games were not so big, the budget's not sky high, the team tangible, and all the developers were passionate, creative, with experience. Phantom Blade Zero aims to beat Black Myth Wukong. Really? Interesting. Thank you again for the $10 super chat, by the way, Lottie. I hope you enjoy it here. And this is big news. This is really big news. Sabrina Carpenter might be the next playable character in Fortnite. So, oh man, look out, boys. Look out. Hang on. I want to read this article about Phantom Blade Zero wanting to beat. Everyone now realizes the potential for Chinese-made game to make 30 million copies in half a year. Oh, Phantom Blade wants to be the next, like, Black Myth big seller. Got it. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. The China Hero project is really going to change things for PlayStation's market saturation. I don't think people really understand. I like that attitude. Call your shot. Yeah, I think China Hero project with Lost Soul aside and Phantom Blade Zero and some of these, I'm telling you, man. I'm here to tell you that China Hero project's really gonna move numbers, I think. You know, Sabrina Carpenter skin's gonna sell like crazy. Me playing Fortnite in my Sabrina Carpenter skin. There you go. That's a funny scene. Just dancing back and forth. Phantom Blade shouldn't set the bar too high for themselves. Let the game do the talking instead. Well, Eurogamer could be kind of putting words in their mouth here. I don't know if they're saying, let's see if they even say it. And Wayne with 14 months. Out of topic, this is an incredible year for gaming. New banger game month after month. My wallet is hurting. Thank you so much for the continued support. Speaking of your wallet hurting, if you are paying for your own membership, though, Wayne, the $1 more for Member Plus gets you into more content. If you're having to be on a gifted, I completely understand. I just want to make sure people who are actively paying the $5 a month realize that $6 a month gets you into the daily green room. You get a longer show, basically. Phantom Blade Zero, both games, okay. I don't think no. They did not say they're aiming to beat Black Myth Wukong. They just referenced that a game can sell incredibly well in that market. And Wayne upgrades to Member Plus. Upgrades count as 2. If you sign up as a Member Plus, that counts as 2. Thank you so much, Wayne. Appreciate that very, very much. It's well worth the upgrade. Thank you, JC. Do you think you'll be able to cheat on Lucia as Jason and pick up? I have no idea, Shogun. I have no idea. Given that it's Grand Theft Auto, I would imagine you can do a lot, and they're not going to like tell you no to certain things. Does this count as a dev wanting to have as many players as possible? Who? Fortnite with the Sabrina Carpenter thing? The what Phantom Blade Zero said. No, I mean, I think what Sean Layden said is certainly helpful in seeing the nuance here. Wanting to make a ton of money is certainly the aspirations of a dev. Wanting as many players as possible isn't quite the same. One sounds like an executive direct to like mimic Fortnite. The other is we would like to get well funded for future content and our next project, right? Like Sean was speaking to the antithetical nature of Game Pass to studios' aspirations. And that's something that I've historically said is an issue, right? That Game Pass is antithetical to what, devs want. But that doesn't agree with that, but we want to get as many players as possible. Like, I think that's such a generic statement. Wanting as many players as possible isn't the same as like wanting to get as much revenue and profit as possible, because it's such a generic target. We want as many players as possible. That's when you get into live service, trend chase. If your game tries to appeal to everyone, your game appeals to no one. That's super generic. People know when they're making, like, let's just take first Berserker Khazan as an example. That game is not like, I hope everybody in the world plays our game, or I hope we get as many players as possible. Why? Because it would hurt the game's reception. You don't want people outside of your target or intended audience buying your game and then dragging your review score down. This is why Game Pass drags the review scores of games down. Like if you look at Lies of P has an incredible score on Steam and PlayStation, and its score on Xbox is markedly lower. Why? It was on Game Pass. So a bunch of people played the game that ordinarily wouldn't play the game, and it pulled the game's score down. Now, do you think the developer celebrated that and was like, oh, that's great that more people got to play and our score went down, meaning you're likely to get less sales accordingly? Do you see? It's like, it's not that simple. It's never that simple as, well, let's get as many players as possible. You don't want people playing your game if they're not the intended audience, because it could drive reception of your game down. This is why I fully support trials and demos and betas, because then someone can avoid your game that isn't going to like it, and then they're not wasting their money and then subsequently pulling your score down. That's why it's such a generic point. It's like, game devs want as many players as possible. Oh, come on. Again, that's just such an executive level directive. And it comes straight from the top. It's like when Matt Booty said, there are games right now that are larger than any one platform. And he's like, that really has changed the way we think about things. And so when you look at games like Minecraft and you look at games like Fortnite, household, ongoing, live service, multi-plat games that are so large, they have insane player counts, executives say, we want more of that. Developers don't think in that realm. They're not like, oh, we want to be, well, the ones that do pay the price, right? Look at how many games tried to do the Fortnite thing. Look at how many games tried to do the, oh, let's try to get as many players as possible. It hasn't gone well for them. It hasn't. It's an aspiration that I believe is foolhardy. What'd you miss? Oh, we've been talking GTA 6. We've been talking AC Shadows success. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. Cart before horse. That's exactly what I've been saying, Brett. It's so cart before the horse. I think games like Khazan can only really score an 8. I feel to get above an 8, you need to bring something new to gaming. Am I wrong? I think that Khazan's going to score way higher with the users because the critics definitely do that. They did it with Lies of P. They did it with Lies of P. There was literally reviews that took points off Lies of P for being too similar to FromSoft games. I'm like, what in the blue frick? Huh? Like, what do you mean? Like, why does that take points away for being similar to, like, the Souls format? It yeah. The review outlets had Lies of P almost 15 points lower than the users. I think first Berserker Khazan's going to land in a similar place. You're right about that for sure. Too many failed attempts at live service when a single player experience would have been better. That's right. So Joshua, think about what you just said. You know you're likely to get less players when you build something like first Berserker Khazan, as opposed to, well, we want to get as many players as possible, so you do some trend chase live service slop, and it's like, and then you don't get as many players as possible. You don't. Or you have a strong start, and then it dries up later, like with X Defiant, or any other live service game that had a decent start, and then ends up struggling later. Yeah, I think 8's a solid score, but I do think critics are always going to take points away. You're not going to see these, high 80s, low 90s. Randall with 20 months of member light. You got me interested in playing Death Stranding after 3 years. I'm enjoying the hell of it. Yay, I'm glad, Randall. Congrats on 20 months as well. The source is accurate for GTA 6. Well, there's a question mark in the title of the stream for a reason. There's a question mark. I thought there was a high probability we got something today. Great live streams. Thank you so much. I thought there was a very high probability that we got something today because it getting added to the back end of PlayStation, lining up with the exact date that some guy said the trailer was coming. And then PS5 also pushed out a system update today, almost like they're getting ready. I don't know. The critics were giving Veilguard 9s and 10s, and Where did Veilguard land on the PlayStation Store? Where did it land with the users? 3.2. Yikes. That's a frickin' 64. Good golly. Good golly. It did not do well with the audience. Wow. That's a bad score. Especially on PlayStation. I think he needs attention more than a snack. I'm glad to help out since Lono's busy putting on a show. I mean, anytime we take a stab at this, at the GTA 6 trailer 2, we get folks that come in that are like, you guys are dumb, you're suckers, you're stupid. Okay, just, come on. We're just having a fun time hanging out and talking about video games, man. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. I'm also interested in what Game Informer's doing today, man. I am. I miss Game Informer. Hopefully they can have a triumphant return to whatever it is they plan on doing. I'm just saying you can't trust a lot of critics. I don't have a mistrust of critics. Listen to me, homie. I was giving Veilguard like an 8 to an 8.5. And then I got to the 25th hour, and I said, frick this game. Frick this game. Like, I am not interested in the spammy, 45-minute boss fight design that they went with. I was done. I was like, I don't like this. The story's got elements that are fine, but not strong enough to keep me coming back. It was like, it was clear to me that I was not going to be able to go the distance. But brother, it took 25 hours before I got to that point. Now, somebody could have gotten that far. You got to remember something. What did people tell me to do in Veilguard? They said, turn the difficulty down and it feels a lot better and you can just move through it and finish it and roll credits. What do you think a lot of those journalists probably did to ensure that they could move through the game at a good clip? They probably lowered the difficulty so that they could get through the game because they're typically on a time crunch. They typically have a very busy schedule, so they dropped the difficulty. And guess what? They probably had a perfectly fine time. They probably didn't hit that rough edge that I hit. iPronator with a gifted member, thank you so much, and gets us to 154. He might be trying to edge to 155 so we could bait a 20 bomb. The members have slowed down a teeny bit today. We're a little behind pace, but that's okay. Thursdays and Fridays are typically the Buck Wild days. These are good days to gift. We got a lot of new folks here. I'm enjoying the waiting room streams, even if it's just to laugh at the angry baby men. Oh no! I become the troll of Wrecker. Yeah, I become troll the Wrecker of Lulz. There you go. What do you in chat think about AC Shadows? I think people were pretty mixed on it, based on what we were saying, what people were saying earlier. There do seem to be people that are really enjoying AC Shadows. Jake Lucky reporting, Twitch has banned partner e-girls. And he says, it's a dark day for gamers. Oh my gosh. GJX tweets, the most American I've ever seen. Cinnamon Toast Crunched, Cinnadust, Black Label, bacon. Yeah. But hang on. I got to ask him. But how many did you buy, though? How many did you buy, though, homie? And a $10 super chat from Alex says, at some point, I'm going to finish Veilguard because I need to finish the story I've invested too much time in Dragon Age franchise and not finish it, but I'm not looking forward to it. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I mean, how many did you buy, homie? South of Midnight's gone gold. That was a couple days ago, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was a couple days ago. That's not new, is it? Did the GTA trailer drop? No. Derek, what you saying? I'm tired of announcement of GTA 6 is not today. It's not 1st of April. It's not fall 2025. It's nothing. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lioness. I really am. Release the trailer. If I could, I would. I've gotten through 6 hours of AC Shadows so far, says Buckeye Plays, and he says, and I really like it so far. The world is beautiful. The gameplay is smooth. I quite literally had to stop playing because I knew if I kept playing, I'd be done. I would not be able to go back to Death Stranding. I had to quite literally put the game down for that reason. All right, we're a few minutes away from hopefully Game Informer announcing whatever it is they're doing today. We're thinking, somebody said because they might be Central Time Zone, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern. Expedition 33 went gold. Game Informer is dropping something juicy. What have you heard? Have you heard anything, or are you just guessing? Does anybody here have a parent that works at Rockstar? Yeah, an uncle, an aunt, a cousin. Anybody? I had a blast with Origins and Odyssey. Can't wait to try out Shadows. Japanese audio all the way. Yes. That is my very, very strong recommendation is set the game's voices to Japanese, and I think it'll have a dramatic effect on the experience for sure. Rockstar GMT. I promise I won't leak it. I'm not. I don't have it. Where's the guy who knows a guy? That's what I'm saying. Zubair says, or track with me here, keep it English, and actually be able to look at the stuff on the screen. Most of the conversations and the cutscenes that had, I think, really good punch in Japanese, I was still able to look at the screen. I was. Like, I think maybe Tsushima, helped train me for this moment. I was accustomed to, like, reading quick, looking up, reading quick. And I know you're like, but you don't like to read. Listen. If I'm telling you to put it on Japanese and read the subtitles, then you should frickin' do it. Pay heed to the non-reader Lono telling you that that's the way to play it. Aren't the subtitles on the screen? Yeah. Come on, Game Informer, announce your thing. I have a childhood friend who works for Rockstar San Diego, but no, even I can't get anything from him. I just get promotional stuff from the events that he goes to. Well, we gotta take some drastic measures here, all right? Listen, I'm not comfortable with kidnapping, but you might, you should always be open to trying new things. You should just be open to trying new things. I'm reading subtle, especially if a game option to speak my own language. Fine, somebody here, go get a job at Rockstar real quick. But you never want to read books? No, I read books. No, I'm about halfway through the second Stormlight Archives book. I'm really enjoying it. All right, it's 1 p.m. Eastern. Come on, Game Informer. What the frick, man? Well, we're waiting. The game has clearly been an early success, reports the gamer. That's right. That's right. That's right. Lono right now. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. Try again tomorrow, guys. At this point, I'm not even waiting for the trailer. I'm waiting to see what Game Informer's doing. Come on. Do you reckon if I play as Jason in GTA 6, do you think they would put a cheat method in? I already answered your question. It's GTA 6. They'll probably let you do whatever you want. Yeah, I already answered that. Well, we know you've been seeing the second trailer on that thumb drive for a minute, and the Switch 2's been sitting underneath your desk. Hellgas says, I'm having a ton of fun with Shadows. Stunning game. So trailer 2 is today or just another debate? It seemed like it was coming, man. It really did. That guy picked such a random date. This is what I think may have happened, and I put this in my show open. It's very possible that GTA 6 getting added to the back end of PlayStation and that guy saying what he said, that it's the week of the 25th. He got maybe bad intel. He maybe got his wires crossed. It could be that the trailer is coming the week of the 25th. I don't know. I didn't do a waiting room for this reason, because there was no public corroboration of like, oh yeah, GTA 6 has been added to the back end of PlayStation. It's very possible, based on what I've been told, that nobody's going to want to say anything specific because they don't want to burn any bridges, right? They don't want to lose their access. Just picked a random date to mess with people. You honestly think if Lono had the connections to be getting all this stuff early, he would put up with our troll, but as soon as he can do better, he will replace us? Now, that's not true. Rule of thumb, play Japanese games with subtitles, just like with Yakuza or the Yakuza Like a Dragon games. Yeah. Trying to guess the GTA trailer is like trying to guess when Christ is coming back. It's very similar. Yeah. And the people that always claim to know the date are wrong. Yo, what's good, Anonymous Boss? Fine, Lono. Leave me just like my father. That's a little too... I was a little too serious. But speaking of likes, can you guys press the like button? Let's get to 500 likes, man. Y'all are amazing. And at this point, now I'm just waiting for something from Game Informer. It's like, come on, boys. Let's go. Did you ever earn that one buddy's like? I don't know. Is he still here? We could ask him. Hey, buddy, did you give me that like? My man, GJX said he bought 2. He bought 2 of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch bacon. Listen, all I'm going to say is my wife bought maple bacon for my son, and whenever they made it, the house smelled like I don't even have a word for it. I don't have a word for it. I don't know how to describe how good it smelled. Hi, Lono, and there it is, Behemoth. Oh, buddy, that is Confetto. I owe you guys a member, and this does set up the 20 bomb. It gets us to 155, and a 20 bomb to 175 is when I will owe you guys some more members. The Super Chat goal makes me add to the total. I will reset the Super Chat goal to give you guys the opportunity to do it again. I pay it forward. I will gift a member. Every 5 Super Chats, I turn back around and give one to the community. Smell like Canada. It just smelled so stinking good. I can't even really describe how good it smelled, you know. Okay, hang on. Let's see here. Still nothing from Game Informer. It's now 105. I don't know when they're going to say what they're going to say, dude. Every time you say bacon, the live stream starts buffering. I reckon my data is suspicious of your bacon McLovin word. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you eat too much and it doesn't want you to hear about it and then, salivate about it and then go buy it and then go make it, Game Informer's doing something? Yeah. They put out this little trailer back on March 19th. And at the very end, they got this, March 25th. They're doing something today. Liquid Smoke with 46 months of a member plus. Cinnamon Toast Bacon sounds ridiculously good. Gonna have to look for it. Yeah, dude. It's Black Label Bacon. 156. Thank you very much. Easy there, Wilford Brimley. Yeah, you're gonna get yourself diabetes. Oh man. It's all quiet out here, boys. It has gone very quiet on the news feeds. Everybody's having lunch, I guess. All right, hopefully nothing happens in the next 60 seconds. I'm going to run upstairs and use the restroom quick. This is the only time I hit ads. Do me a favor. Smash the like button while I step away. It helps out. Let's hit 500 likes, all right? And get the member count going maybe when I get back. We got more things to do today. We got first Berserker Khazan. We're hoping we get something from Game Informer before we switch gears. And yeah, I played Hogwarts, and so did my kids, and so did my wife. My wife played it more than me. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. Okay. Did anything happen? Did it all happen while I was gone? Game Informer announced things. The trailer dropped. Like, did it all happen while I was gone? The chair says Xbox better. Yeah, the chair thinks Xbox better for sure. I missed it. I knew it. I knew I was going to miss it as soon as I stepped away. You know. You got to be careful with those breaks, man. You got to be careful. It happened. We talked about it. We gifted a bunch of subs. We're going to Green Room. Oh, man. You missed the trailer. It was amazing. But they already deleted it. They published it, and they already deleted it unlisted. And no one has a copy. No one has a copy. Goat Simulator Showcase for April the 1st announced. That's perfect. That is truly perfect. That's the right day for them to do it. Okay. It's a Switch 2 exclusive. It's 24 FPS. Oh my gosh. That's good. I was worried. About that. Pay for a robust and expensive advertising campaign in the hopes that more players will buy the game. Post an emoji and give that crap away for free. Yeah, frickin' Sean Murray. He is a nut. He is a stinking nut. He just does whatever he wants. All right, I need to check to make sure. Hang on. I always got to make sure that, like, audio is synced. I can't hear. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay. Back. Always got to make sure that we're good to go, ready to rock. Audio's good. Capture's good. All right. Back to the feeds to check and see what the frick is going on. If anything. Bloodlines 2 release date delay is the main thing I keep seeing. And then Fortnite stuff. It's iOS 19 time. Apple's WWDC 2020 event starts on June the 9th. At this point with the Game Informer thing, the GTA 6 trailer is that's probably not happening. At this point, I would think that the Game Informer thing is going to be like an evening announcement. That'd be my guess. That would be my guess at this point, just because if you're not going to do it right in the middle of the afternoon, I feel like you'd wait so like end of day. Like let everybody kind of do their thing, push out their stuff throughout the day, and then you kind of come in at the end. Game Informer, that's what I meant. Yeah. Watch it happen when you're playing Khazan. I mean, as the way that streamer luck happens sometimes, that wouldn't surprise me, right? I'm ready to go. I think I've got the, let me make sure I've saved the thumbnail so I'm not scrambling too hard later. Yeah, I have the trailer. I've got a trailer 2 reaction thumbnail ready to go just in case. Any chance of it dropping? I think the later in the day it gets, the likelihood goes down. Now, previously they had trailer 1 scheduled for like 9 a.m. Eastern, okay? It got leaked, and then they decided to push it out the evening before. Now, they could obviously say, we got good results from that, so it could like drop this evening just randomly. There's just, again, they're really hard to predict because they kind of do their own thing. It would break the internet if Game Informer dropped info on GTA 6. A lot of things lined up with today. Game Informer coming back, that guy saying it back in November, that the second trailer would be today. He came back randomly and reemphasized that it was coming today, and then Detective Seeds is like, hey, a really big game just got added to the back end of PlayStation, and it has a fall release date. I reach out to a source that I trust that basically said, yeah, that's GTA, and it does have a fall release date, so, you know. You think Game Informer revealed it today, even if it's not to do... Oh, what's Game Informer? My hope is they're revealing that they're coming back in some way. That they're coming back in some way. That they're going to have, an active presence in reviews and, articles and, an up and running website and, I'm assuming, a YouTube channel. What time is trailer 2? No one knows. No one knows. They've said nothing. We're basing this off of what I consider to be enough things lined up to cover it. I didn't have enough concrete information to do a waiting room. Like, if I'm going to do a waiting room, I need something concrete. I need somebody who's like, trust me, bro, it's coming, and it's somebody that hasn't steered me wrong. Rockstar dropped Red Dead thing on X 3 hours ago, so if they release something, we can't really predict when. Yeah, and then there's the idea that, like, well, if they're going to do it, they're not going to announce anything else. Which I think that's generally true, and that's why I kind of thought today was good probability. They hadn't tweeted in 5 days. And because they hadn't tweeted in 5 days, I thought today might be the day. I was like, okay, well, they've kind of gone quiet. Usually they tweet every day, every 1, 2, 3 days, 1 to 3, and it had been 5 days with nothing. For those who like samurai and CRPGs, there is a game called Shadow of the Road that's published by Owlcat Games you should check out. Shadow of the Road? Is that story-driven? Oh, it's a story-driven turn-based RPG. Yeah, I wouldn't get down with that at all. Lona has the trailer in his back pocket. Yeah. I mean, I do not like how Bella Ramsey gets treated, but I also think they really haven't done her any favors. Whoever did her wardrobe for this premiere, Guapzilla says she's looking like a ventriloquist dummy, and it's like, I mean, come on, man. Help her out. She already gets enough grief and guff. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever's in charge of her wardrobe, come on, man. You gotta help a girl out, dude. It's just ridiculous, man. Some of the memes with her are pretty hilarious. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hope she can laugh it off, because some of them are pretty funny. But look at our man Pedro. This is how they have him dressed for the premiere. Like, come on, man. This dude just like oozes cool. You know what I mean? He's like, he's got some Tony Stark vibes going on there. Come on, dude. Oh, excuse me. That was not a yawn. It wasn't. Pedro wants his bird. Bring me back my bird. That is not my bird. Well, Game Informer was my last hope for something. Again, it must be in the evening. It must be in the evening. We're like Mr. Fantastic walking in the room as the smartest man in the world. Yeah, he does look really good. I think he looks good for the part. I like how they've set it. They've, set it in a dated period. I think that's good. Like Reed Richards. Yeah. Indiana Jones is currently number 1 on the PlayStation Store pre-orders, both in the US and the UK, including the premium editions. Xbox games making up 4 of the top 10 pre-order games, because that includes both the editions of Forza, as well as Doom the Dark Ages. Ooh, buddy. Xbox really gonna like they're really gonna like publishing on PlayStation at this rate. They're making that money, dude. They're like, yep, this was a really good decision. People got mad, but look at the money. I keep seeing 4 p.m. as a possible time. That seems a tad late. Yeah, why 4 p.m. though? What's significant about 4 p.m.? How much is the premium edition? Premium edition is $99.99. It's $100. So standard edition is $70. Premium edition's $100. And Doom: The Dark Ages premium edition is in the top 12. That's kind of crazy. That's the premium edition of Doom is above the standard edition. That right there is exactly why I don't think the GTA 6 price point would be $100. The premium editions are, in many cases, outpacing the standard editions. Right? Like, look. The Indiana Jones Premium Edition is outpacing the standard. And then you look down here, Forza Premium Edition doing the same. And then you look down here, Doom: The Dark Ages Premium Edition. Now, they might be pulling some kind of shenanigans, but look, Death Stranding 2 down here standard, and look what's at the top, Deluxe. Like, this is exactly why you don't need to set the GTA 6 price to $100, because you just need some kind of premium edition for $80 or $100 or whatever, and you'll make a ton of money. You know? I don't think you need to set the base price to $100. Just sell a $100 version where people get like a cool jacket, a cool hat, a cool car, and you know what I mean? Legacy Kill is saying, another day, another rumor wrong. Wait for GTA 6 is getting to people, as many as just believing about anything. We'll hear something soon for sure, but I think they're waiting until last minute before committing to a date or pushing the game to next year. We'll see what happens. Affleck said playing Batman was excruciating experience. I believe it. $100 for 3-day early access. $500. Oh, so I'm sorry, $200 for 5-day early access. Yeah. Online will have early access. The servers won't be able to stay up otherwise. It won't have online at launch. According to folks in the know, it will not ship. It will not be shipping with online. Online will come later. The entire quote is basically him owning up to his mistakes, which in part why people didn't like his Batman. Oh, what else did he say? I'm not interested in going down that particular genre again, not because of the bad experience, but just I've lost interest in what was of interest about it to me, but I certainly would have wanted to replicate the experience. A lot of it was misalignment of agendas, understandings, expectations, and also, by the way, I wasn't bringing anything particularly wonderful to that equation at the time either. I had my own failings, significant failings in that process and at the time. In terms of why I had a bad experience, part of it was that I was bringing to work every day was a lot of unhappiness. So I wasn't bringing a lot of positive energy to the equation. I didn't cause problems, but I came in and did my job and went home. But you've got to do a little bit better than that. Yeah, I mean, if you're kind of going through some stuff, and you're not going to bring your A game to a performance like that, it'll be obvious. It was kind of obvious in the dadgum interviews that, he wasn't in a great place. He wasn't in a great place mentally. We've all been there. Did you see the Wu Chang hands-on preview? I did not. Could we get 10 more likes on the video? You guys have crushed it today with the like count. Thank you so much. GTA 5 didn't have online until 2 weeks after launch. Yeah, they'll stagger it, and again, they're probably gonna do regional rollout. It'll be insane. The servers will smoke. They will literally light on fire. Would be my guess. It'll be insane. The demand for that game, day one, week one. The demand for online, the day that it drops, moment that it drops. It's gonna be crazy. GTA base price, GTA 6 base price being $100 would be stupid. That's what I said. We covered the price debate before, and that's what I essentially said. It was like, they don't need to. They don't need to. All they need to do is do special editions, and they'll get an insane amount of people to just buy the best one. They could sell a premium digital deluxe platinum gold edition. Let's add all the things to it, add all the adjectives, and sell it for $150. And there'll be people that'll they'll literally just line up, swipe the credit card instantly. No, I don't. Nothing's been officially announced about budget. Think about it. GTA 6 costs more than $1 billion. That's wild. Wait. Where'd you get that info? Why did it cost $1 million? Oh, I'm sorry, not $1 million. $1 billion. Sorry, I misspoke. GTA 6 screenshots today, Game Informer. We were thinking that there was a lot of coincidence surrounding this day, and we thought Game Informer might be playing a role here. You know, maybe they had an original or contract and deal signed with Rockstar, since Rockstar has used them in the past, and maybe this is how they come back. I just don't know. It seems like we're just going to get too late in the day, and Game Informer is just going to announce that they're back in some kind of an official capacity. They have said it could cost upwards towards $1 billion. I remember reading that. Oh, so they spoke to it and said that. I didn't know that. You've seen it said $1 billion to make GTA. Don't remember where. Paul's remembering the same thing. Paul's remembering the same thing. So could be something to that. Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers launches this summer. Want the launch date? Share this post and show your support with the wish list. They've been doing that. That's all they do with their social. That's all Wu-Chang does with their social. They just keep baiting the release date and telling people to follow and retweet, and we'll do this if we get more followers and blah blah blah. That's all they've been doing with their Twitter account. They may have deleted the tweets, but I felt like every day I opened up my feed and that's what they were doing. You want the release date? It's like, well, that's a giveaway. Yeah, they may have gotten rid of them. It was like a picture. They kept tweeting a picture. Oh, yeah, they kept doing this. We're climbing to 30,000 followers and the view is getting better. Let's reach the top and finally reveal what's been hiding at the peak. So they've been saying that for a while, that when they get to 30,000, they'll reveal something. And it's like, well, I mean, I think people are assuming they mean the release date. Right? What's Ecstasis saying? What's siempre al frente mean? Sometimes translating tweets doesn't work. Always in front? I don't know what he means. Always in front. Maybe he's talking about how Nintendo is always in front, always leading. Always in front, always forward. Okay. How you doing on the Daredevil rewatch? We're almost done with season 2. It's better than I remember. I remember really disliking season 2. I remember really disliking season 2, and I felt like Elektra really ruined it. I still think she does. Yeah, the courtrooms in season 2. Johnny Bernthal and Frank Castle, in my mind, saved season 2, because Elektra almost ruins it. I just thought what they did with her and his character was incredibly stupid. She's annoying. Her writing was bad. The acting and it was just all bad. Your pronunciation's great. Thank you. First half of season 2 is fire. Yeah, everything's great until she shows up. She shows up, and I hated every minute of when she's in the show. And Frank Castle in the courtroom and the Punisher. I mean, I still maintain that it saved the show. It saved that season. It saved the show. It really did. So, Bernthal's Castle. Yeah, he's it. He's Frank Castle. That's his RDJ Tony Stark moment. Like, that's his role and nobody else's. So, yeah, when he goes off, when he tells her, I'm going to see you burn, and like, man, he's a maniac. He's just an absolute freaking maniac. All right, I'm going to spam a link in chat. We're going to switch gears to this game. We're going to play it for probably about an hour or so. It'd be great if you guys came with. Nothing trailer 2. Doesn't seem like it. Even Game Informer's not doing anything just yet. And then make sure and smash like on the way out of this stream. Thank you so much for checking out this video. This is going to be me diving back into the first Berserker Khazan. I did play the beta as well as the demo, and I played those on my PS5 Pro. I'm playing this on my PS5 Pro. So this will be the first Berserker Khazan gameplay on the PS5 Pro. There's not a lot of options. It performs really great. I wish we could kind of go in and tweak some things like turn off motion blur and stuff like that, but you can't. So I'm not quite sure why. There is a pretty good amount of blur that they use. I will also be playing this on easy because I want to show that off to people, because I know some people aren't wanting to play a game like this, and I enjoyed it on normal. I had no problem beating the bosses on normal, but I am kind of interested in moving through games quicker. Now I'm going to end the previous stream and redirect folks over, and I will change that thumbnail